into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
It's olive and it's black.
It's olive and black.
It's olive and black today. That's what it is, and we're going to love it, and we're going to love you. Thank you so much for joining us. Very good morning. My name is Graham Richards.
And I'm Zoe Brown, and this is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. I'm loving the colour coordination.
Yes.
But there's also a lot going on today. I mean, every single day we have a lot on offer for you. And this morning is no different because it's all about learning a new language.
I love that.
Are you good at it? I feel like you are someone that's good with it.
I can pick up some things, but I kind of regret that I didn't focus on it as a young person, or maybe it wasn't a big focal point of my mom's when I was really small. So it's something I'm trying to adjust definitely with my own kid. And that stems from encouraging our children to learn from obviously a very young age where their brains are fresh and ready to learn new things. Apparently they can pick up like 4 languages by the time they're 3. But we're also going to be joined by a kinderkineticist, Emilia O'Donis, for a workout that we as parents can do with our little ones, which sounds amazing.
So make sure you gather them around the telly to join in and, of course, have a lot of fun, because there's one person that will be joining, and that is Ryle. But Ryle's not alone. Good morning, gents.
Yes, I'm not alone. There's the 2 biggest kids in the park right now. It's myself,
Yes.
Ryle, of course, and this beautiful man on my right.
Thank you.
Side.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, you're right, the olive thing is coming through strong.
How
eh?
could we not, eh? How
It's
could
like
we
that.
not?
But it's a beautiful day today, and I'm so happy that you and I can chill and drink some soy milk together, which is beautiful. I know that you've suggested,
What better way to
take a
start
break
the
from
morning,
dairy a
of course,
bit.
Carl?
So I'm going to
Yeah,
play a bit
break
of
from
soy.
dairy, get some good protein, and at the same time, kickstart your day, get the metabolism going.
Indeed.
And at the same time, get this question going this morning, and we're chatting to you, Mzansi, about it. Now, we wanted to know, from all the things that you could learn this morning, if language was one of them, and language that you've always wanted to learn was one of them, what would that language be? Carl, you got anything to add to this?
Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Pouvez-vous m'aider à parler français?
Wait, have you learned that, or are you
That's
just...
the only thing I know.
Oh, wow.
And it's cool because that's all you need to know, because all it is like, can you teach me French? And that's it. So I think like French, it is quite a challenge.
That's
My
pretty
dad
impressive.
can speak German fluently, one of the other sort of languages I wanted to learn, but I think French is the one that I want to lock down. Also, I mean, being a kid sort of at heart as well, you kind of always want to impress somebody.
You know, be careful when you go around speaking French. You know, it's a very romantic language.
It is, you have to say it is very difficult for me to be here in the Expresso with English, but I will try. Also, we do have the news.
Yes, we have the news,
Yes,
and I think it is it Zoe or is it Graham? We do not know,
do
but
not,
it is happening right now regardless. Come
Très bien.
through on the social medias, and we'll see you soon.
Au revoir.
It's news with Zozo. There we go. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for that. It is now time for us to look at those national headlines. The government yesterday declared the drought in several provinces a national disaster. The areas affected include parts of the Eastern, Western and Northern Cape and some pockets in other provinces. The declaration means that the primary responsibility to deal with the situation falls under the national executive. Various state organs are now required to implement contingency plans. It places the national government in charge of coordinating the response to the drought under the same legislation that governs SA's pandemic state of disaster. And staying with local news, the KwaZulu-Natal High Court in Pietermaritzburg has granted former President Jacob Zuma's application for the postponement of his corruption trial. Judge Piet Koen postponed the case to 10 August. It is scheduled to run until 13 August. He said the directive to hear arguments in the matter virtually shall continue to apply unless revoked or revised. Zuma wanted the postponement mainly because it was being held on a virtual platform. Zuma faces 1 count of racketeering, 2 counts of corruption, 1 count of money laundering, and 12 counts of fraud. Moving to news abroad, the World Bank has announced a program to help medical clinics in Ivory Coast procure equipment from major electrical concerns, which could spur the cocoa production country's development into a regional medical hub. Many smaller clinics in Ivory Coast struggle to obtain the bank loans necessary to buy or rent essential medical equipment. The $300 million financing agreement will remedy this situation. As part of the agreement, Philips and General Electric will be the only two companies from the Ivorian private and public medical facilities that may procure medical equipment. And staying with news abroad, billionaire Jeff Bezos yesterday made a short journey to space in the first crewed flight of his rocket ship New Shepard. He was accompanied by his brother Mark, Wally Funk, an 82-year-old pioneer of the space race, and an 18-year-old student. New Shepard, built by Bezos' company Blue Origin, is designed to serve the growing market for space tourism. Bezos and other participants in the billionaire space race, such as Richard Branson and Elon Musk, have been criticized for offering what some regard as a mere joyride for the super rich. And next, the University of Witwatersrand boasts a major first. In a first for Witwatersrand University, a PhD student has graduated with a joint degree from the institution as well as the University of Turin in Italy, while reigning Miss SA, Shurufatso Musida, bagged an honours degree in international relations. PhD student Silvia Del Santo graduated in the field of physics at the two institutions. Because of strict COVID lockdown regulations, the graduation ceremony took place virtually. Shuru, as our Miss SA is known, took to Instagram after the ceremony and saying, and I quote, "After my virtual graduation today, I had an interview opportunity with Vice Chancellor Zeblon Vilakazi, and of course I went in my grad attire. This pandemic has led to trying times and uncertainty for everyone. To all students who had to persevere, Fambili, congratulations class of 2020. And before enrolling at WITS, the 24-year-old beauty queen studied at Pretoria University, where she earned a Bachelor of Social Science degree in philosophy, politics, and economics. Well, congratulations to the class of 2020. That's where I leave your morning headlines for now. Let's take a first look at your sport. Here's Graham.
Thanks so much. So let's start with rugby. Springbok head coach Jacques Ninema has named his team for the first test against the British and Irish Lions at Cape Town Stadium on Saturday. So Rugby World Cup winning captain Siya Kolisi will be back. He's going to lead the box after recovering from COVID-19. Then fly-off Andre Pollard, who has been named as vice captain, will also be earning his 50th international cap for South Africa when he takes to the field. Then adding to that, South African rugby, the British and Irish Lions yesterday have now confirmed that the Lions series will conclude in the mother city. The second and third tests were originally scheduled to take place at the F&B Stadium in Johannesburg, but will now remain in Cape Town. This decision was made following extensive consultation with medical experts on the risks associated with the Delta variant of the coronavirus. Now on to Olympics news, and very dramatic at that. The Springbok Sevens team finally had their first outdoor training session in Japan more than a week after arriving in the country. The Blitzboks faced a number of setbacks since arriving for 2020 Tokyo Olympics, but have now been cleared by authorities to return to the field. The team underwent 2 separate isolation periods in Tokyo and Kagoshima, and now head coach, of course, Neil Powell, tested positive for COVID-19 and will miss the Rugby Sevens Olympics tournament, but does still remain in touch with the squad via virtual coaching sessions. And staying with the Olympics, Olympic dressage rider Tanya Seymour's dream of competing at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics has come to an end before it started. Her horse Ramanier suffered a debilitating case of laminitis, which resulted in swelling and inflammation of the hoof. Now, Seymour made equestrian history back in 2016 at the Olympics in Rio, when she became the first dressage rider to represent South Africa at the Games. But with Ramanier ruled out, the 37-year-old Seymour will not compete at this year's Olympics. And then again, staying with Olympics news, 6 swimmers from Team Poland have been sent home from the Tokyo Olympics after too many were selected by mistake. Poland initially chose 23 athletes, but cut that number down to 17 based on the world governing body FINA's qualifying rules. Now, president of the Polish Swimming Federation, Paweł Slominski, expressed great regret, sadness and bitterness about the situation as he apologized for the glaring mistake. Well, that's where we leave our sporting headlines for now. Let's see what's in store on the weather front.
Thanks a lot, G. And let's chat a bit of weather news, shall we? The cold temperatures in most of the Western Cape are expected to last into the coming weekend, says the SA Weather Service. Cold weather swept across the province on Monday afternoon, bringing with it rain, but the next forecasted cold front is expected to make landfall today, if it hasn't already. It will bring disruptive rainfall, strong winds, as well as very cold conditions. Cape Town emergency personnel on standby as further downpours could result in isolated flooding. Eskom yesterday urged customers in the Western Cape as well as the Eastern Cape to remain patient as extreme weather threatens the network. An increase in faults due to inclement weather is expected and could affect electricity supply in some areas. Eskom said it would prioritize its response based on the size and duration of said faults. Now, while we enjoy giving you updates on all parts of South Africa, we also do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube as well as the Africa channel in the US of A. And this morning we report on the weather for a beautiful city of Tenerife. Now, Tenerife is the largest of Spain's Canary Islands off West Africa. It's dominated by a Mount Tide, who is a dormant volcano that is Spain's tallest peak, in fact, with the island being the most populous island of Spain. It accounts for a whopping 43% of the total population of the archipelago. Today, the area will experience a beautiful sunny day ahead, reaching a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. Now, thank you to our very special viewer. You always do the most when it comes to anything local, and I can tell you the international tides, they also look very, very good. But I want to give you some sunrise photos. This is my favorite part of the show. So starting us off, I want to chat to you, Amira Barman. Thank you very much for sending this through from Gqeberha. A beautiful shot that has orange as well as yellow hues melting into one another as the sky transitions. Andre Niemann as well from Doorn Bay shared this great photo taken, captured the beautiful glowing sky as well as sunrises in the picturesque beach house. You can see it in the background. It is absolutely gorgeous. Thanks a lot for sending that through. We have included some virtual international travel on our Friday shows, as you may have noticed, and this Friday it's no different. We head to the UK this Friday, and we would love to see any of your pictures. If you live there and have even visited there, we want to see all of those. Please head on over to the Expresso Facebook page, and if you have any photos to share with us, we'd love to get you on the show, and that'll be this Friday. So let's stick to the local shores and give you some temperatures across South Africa. Starting in Polokwane, 5 is your minimum in that area. That rises to 21. Bombela, hello to you. 10 is your minimum to a high of 30 degrees Celsius. Pretoria, 3 to 21. Johannesburg, you can expect 0 this morning, but you do rise up to 17. Mahikeng, minus 2 degrees Celsius, and that goes up to 19. Klerksdorp, minus 3 to 16. Kimberley, minus 3 to 13. Bloemfontein, minus 5. Chilly conditions. Stay warm, please. 13 the maximum. Richards Bay, 12 to 20. Pietermaritzburg, 2 to 19. At Durban, you can expect 10 in the morning, 19 in the afternoon. Mthatha, 2 to 17. East London, 7 to 19. Cradock, you can expect minus 2 in the morning, and that jumps up to 15 later. Gqeberha, 6 to 18, with a 55% chance of precipitation in your area. George, 4 to 15, a 73% chance of rain. Cape Town, 8 to 13, 76% chance of rain if it isn't raining already. Worcester, 0 to 8. Sutherland, hear this, minus 6 degrees Celsius for you. That means 66% chance snow. So please do be as warm as you can in that area. 2 is your maximum. And then Uppington, minus 2, rising to 14 a little later. That's a wrap up of the temperatures as well as your weather news. If you require any more of those, I'll be back in the next hour and also add some sunrise photos. If you got one of those, send it to us on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thank you so much, Carl. We'll bring you another update on all things news, sport and weather in about an hour. But right now, Mzansi, we are calling on your generous hearts because Cadbury Dairy Milk needs your generosity right now and your words, especially, to help children fall in love with reading in their own home language.
And it's so important. So what are you waiting for? Play your part by translating a new word with us to help co-author this children's library book. In fact, a children's library full of African language storybooks.
Yeah, now to get your creative juices flowing, we're giving you a word to translate this morning, and the word is ingredients. Now, this is a toughie, of course. I know a lot of us have used this when it comes to cooking on the show too, so this should be a familiar word for all. But what does the word mean when it's translated into Sesotho? Now, I'm going to give this a go, guys. I don't know about you as well, but I believe it's Ditswakwa.
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 Ditswakwa, the ingredient. So if you want to maybe write a story about cooking that special meal that your grandmother used to cook every weekend or something.
I remember the story about Goldilocks. Wasn't she like preparing like curd or something?
No, she
Or
was
that
eating the
something-
porridge. She was eating the porridge the bears ate.
That was Goldilocks 2. That was
See,
the
I need to-
sequel.
That's the
I need to
follow-up.
learn my Ditswakwas.
Yeah,
in order to
exactly.
get my storytelling.
I love that, but it's a word already that you can see inspires a lot of creative thoughts, and it's something that I think would tie into a story brilliantly, and that's the whole point here, is we're trying to excite children about reading stories in their own language, help ensure that all children can enjoy enchanting African language tales in their own home language, and you do it just by translating one word, and then you can officially get the author title, and you can help co-author a library of African language children's storybooks, hashtag in our own words.
And it's beautiful. I mean, Ditswakwa.
Ditswakwa, yeah.
Ditswakwa. And Afrikaans is it bestandele? Bestandele.
That sounds quite serious.
Very interesting. Well, you can visit cadbury.co.za and at Cadbury Dairy Milk Essay on Facebook or at Cadbury_Essay on Twitter and Instagram to start sharing your words.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. We're live right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, opening up with S3 on your middle of the week Wednesday edition.
There we go. And you know what, Raul? In life, you may not always get what you want, but if you're lucky, you'll get what you need.
That's true. Now, when a little plant and a curious girl find each other through a chance encounter, their hearts are warmed and they embrace learning to love something new.
That's right. And this is the story that's explored in the adorable animated short film called Lola, created by third-year students from the animation school in 2019. Let's take a look at it.
One thing I love about that, so is the fact that it's universal. There's no dialogue, and I think everybody can understand that, which is the beauty of it, right?
That is the beauty. And you know what? Today we are putting the spotlight on learning different languages and especially teaching our children from a young age to pick up on the different languages.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got a special guest in the house. It's Karen Badenhorst. Let's check in with her and see what's happening.
Yes, indeed. So after that cuteness level 10, we're going to delve into languages right now. Our different cultures and our languages lend themselves to the different ways in which we think and we live, and certainly in which we engage with each other. Now, we're connecting with social worker Karen Badenhorst to chat a little bit about the benefits of learning a new language, especially when it comes to our little ones. Karen, a very good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Graham.
So, Karen, I would just like to start off with, I know growing up, learning a new language, it was just so enchanting. You know, my pops knew German fluently, and the way he came home with a new word like "wie geht's," it was like, hey, how do we do this? And I think there was something that I was drawn to as a young kid. But what are the benefits of learning a new language, especially for a child?
Yes, guys, learning a new language has really been proved and shown to enhance a child's and a person's cognitive functioning. And that's our brain power. And this includes functions like problem-solving skills. It improves verbal and spatial abilities. And it also enhances our creative thinking capacity. When we learn a new language, it also helps us with memory, because we must memorize new vocabulary. And this makes our brain very flexible. But it also has social and psychological advantages. It improves our attitudes towards the target language and the culture, because when I learn a new language, I also learn the culture of the language. And this brings us a better understanding and connection with people. What is life about? It's all about relationships. And when I can speak your language, that builds better relationships. And it makes me feel more confident, and it enhances my self-esteem.
So feeding off that, then it seems that it would be logical that it would give you an advantage in your future. If we fast forward from, obviously, the early childhood development, where it clearly has massive benefits, it would surely also be of advantage in the future in the job market.
Yeah, for sure. I think the continual globalization of the world's economy is bringing diverse cultures and communities into more fluent contact with each other. And I think the ease of global travel, although not these days, but when we could travel a lot, and also the internet have collapsed the barrier of distance that once kept the world's community separate. And I think employers and businesses are really seeking applicants that can navigate the modern global economy, and applicants, they seek applicants who can navigate. And I think through learning another language, students can really develop these skills. And just to put it simply, language learning is necessary for students to effectively function in the modern global marketplace.
I love that.
True say. Now, when it comes to us navigating a language, early childhood development requires us to learn things like English, Afrikaans, our sort of staple languages of whatever country we are in. So when is the best time to get started and teach your child a new language? And would this perhaps conflict with the foundation languages that one would learn at school?
Yeah, there's a lot of research that has been done, and they say that the ability to learn a new language, at least grammatically, is strongest until the age of 18, after which it becomes more difficult. But I think to completely get fluent in a language, learning should start before the age of 10 years.
Wow, I've heard before that a child under the age of 3 can pick up something like 4 different languages, that the brain is just a sponge and it's wired to do that. Can it not be a little overwhelming to teach your child more than one language at a time, or is the young brain just equipped for that?
Yeah, that my opinion is that I think a child must learn a mother tongue until the age of 3, just to settle that language and to confirm that language, and then the child's got a good vocabulary, and when you talk about chair, the child knows what you are talking about. And then after the age of 3, I think it's very practical and good to start introducing the child into another language.
Okay.
I think these are pearls of wisdom that anybody would love to grab onto, because, I mean, we all want our kids to be as developed and as advanced as they can be, but of course we don't want to overwhelm them too much. So we will continue the conversation in the next couple of moments, and if it is a matter of you teaching your kid a new language at home, I think it's something worthwhile to stick around for, as Karen Badenhorst joins us for part 2 in the next couple of moments.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked on this Wednesday morning. A little bit earlier in the show, we connected with social worker Karen Badenhorst to chat about the benefits of learning a new language. And from that discussion, we've gleaned that there are many, for young and for old. We are continuing that very important conversation right now. Karen, welcome back.
Thank you.
So when you left us, Karen, of course, we chatted about the cognitive development and the great advantages you can give your kid if you are going to teach him a new language. We also chatted a bit about the best time to do the language development, and that is before 10 years old, which is very, very fascinating. But let's talk a bit about, moving forward. Now, does it get harder to learn a new language the older you get? And how challenging is it if you are going to be a bit older trying to pick up something new like that?
Or a lot older.
Yeah, we're asking for a friend.
Yeah, guys, the average adult do struggle in a language class, and it would be easier to start when you are a young. But an adult can learn a new language. It all depends on the time they have available, how much they read about the new language, talk about the new language, and also hear the new language.
Okay.
The positives of adult learning is that we as adults have longer attention spans, and we also have the crucial skill of literacy that allows us to continually expand our vocabulary. So it's easier, but it's also not so easy.
Look, I don't know about the attention span in the case of us two, but certainly in terms of the literacy. How should parents approach then introducing a new language to their children? Why is it so important to make the process fun? I mean, it obviously seems obvious, but why would you recommend that you make it a fun exercise and not a grueling lesson?
Yeah, learning a new language must be enjoyable for the child, and the child must learn a new language without even knowing it. So let's start with a few ideas that you can do in your home. And I would say from the age, as we said earlier, 3 years old, I think is a very good age. And I just want to add here that when you've got an emotional bond with your child, it makes the learning process just so much easier. So let's start with the first technique, and that is through repetition. Children learn through repetition and active engagement with another language. And you can simply start by greeting them in the morning in your home language, and then also you can repeat it in the second language. And start with small words like thank you and please, especially for the smaller child. And then you can move to objects like a toothbrush or apple or chair. And then you can apply this repetition technique at home by doing some activities with your child. So if you are making him a sandwich, you can say the words in English, I am making you a sandwich, and then you can repeat that in the language that you want to teach your child. And then later, for instance, you can do activities like when you make a train out of an air carton, you can emphasize the vocabulary for the train and the wheels and various colors in English. And then at a later stage, you can repeat those same words in the second language. Another technique that we can use is when you talk to your child, use big gestures and physical demonstrations. Non-verbal communication means a lot to a child, and it also helps the child to learn new vocabulary and comprehend the language.
Correct.
And then have your child spend time with a native speaker. Contact a bilingual family member or some friends or a neighbor or a caretaker who can spend time with your child. Set up play dates or excursions in which the person can speak to your child in the target language. And here we let the child experience a second language. Another way is to find media in the other language. Let your children watch TV shows, DVDs, movies in other languages. And this is a wonderful way to learn new languages. Also find music in a foreign language and listen it with your child together. It's a very fun activity, and it also strengthens your bond and your relationship. And the last one that I want to share with the viewers is there's so many kid-friendly language learning software that we can download and that we can introduce our children to learn the language. I've got the last one, and that is learn the language together. When adults enroll, when adults enroll into classes for a new language, I know this is time consuming and it takes, it's a long route to go, but you can make this a team effort. You can do adult courses, you can master language, and then you can slowly teach that language to your child. And once you incorporate language learning into your child and your routine, it's very likely that you would see new linguistic and cognitive development from your child.
And you can start on a whole brand new journey yourself. I absolutely love that. Karen, some sage advice. Thank you so much. Really getting excited about the idea. I've got 2 young kids at the perfect age to start introducing new languages. So very excited about starting that journey myself. But you've been great this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Nkosi, Kiavonga, Pae Danki, gracias. So with a diverse population like South Africa's, the pros of being multilingual are endless. Speaking of which, Cadbury Dairy Milk are trying to create and inspire with stories in all 11 South African languages through their hashtag In Our Own Words initiative.
Yes, you're still keeping it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Believe it or not, with only a few weeks left for South Africans to translate just one word to help co-author a library of African language children's storybooks, we thought, who better to encourage you to get translating than Mabel Mnensa, one of the young Nalibali authors working on the Cadbury Dairy Milk hashtag In Our Own Words initiative. Now, we've read a few of the stories on our sister show, Afternoon Express, and what an incredible job you're doing. Good morning, Mabel. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about your writing process. How do you bring these stories to life in the way that you're doing in these storybooks?
So it's actually quite a great process. It's quite collaborative. So we get the words that we are supposed to frame our story around, and we get the amount of words that each story needs to be. And then after that, we each work on our story. So I write it out. I think about it overnight, like what am I going to write? And then I write it. Then I personally, because I've got a niece and nephew, and they're the toughest critics in the world. So I read the story to them. And if they are bored, then I know I need to go back to the drawing board and write another story.
And you're creating such gems. But did you have access to books in your home language when you were growing up? And why do you think, writing books in all South African language is so important to you?
I'm a 90s kid, and unfortunately, growing up, I had no books in my language. I had no books with kids that looked like me. Like, I did not see myself in the books that I was reading. And that is actually very important. And statistics have shown that the literacy levels are very, very low. And we need to help children read for meaning, because sometimes children pass, but they don't know what they're reading. Their comprehension, they don't understand what they're reading. So we need to encourage kids to read for fun. And this is done by making sure they can see themselves and their families in the books they read and in the languages that they understand. So this is why this project is so important, because if I had books like this when I was a kid, I think half the issues I had would not have even been there.
Oh, 100%. Just seeing, people like yourself and just, inspiring them with your stories is such a good platform like this. Do you think this is a stepping stone to, more stories you want to write in the future?
This project was great in that it really sparked something inside me. And I've got all these stories now that I would love to explore and do more with. And so I have one children's book, Kantika Finds the Perfect Name, that was published in 2020. And I would love to get more books published. And I think the fact that Cadbury even, that they're supporting writers, it's a really, I'm very glad to be part of this project because it's something that's quite rare.
Mabel, we can't wait to hear all of it. But listen, I've been hyping you up all morning. Are you maybe able to read one of the stories that you've written?
This is one of my favorites. Not today, Sikameti. Sikameti can feel that today is going to be a special day. She looks for her sneakers and shorts. An adventure to the roof of her flat would be perfect. Maybe I can find some treasures. Nope. Not today, Sikameti. You cannot get dirty. Go bath. Sikameti sulks. If Auntie Cindy was here, she would have gone to the roof with me and shown me a magical world full of treasures and gold. After eating her breakfast, Sikameti can see her friends playing downstairs. She can still feel that it's a special day. She looks at Mama and Papa and smiles. It's the perfect day to play Mgusha. Can I go play? Mom shakes her head. Nope. Not today, Sikameti. You cannot get dirty. Stay close to me. Sikameti sulks. If Auntie Cindy was here, she would have let me play with my friends on the roof. I thought today was going to be special. Maybe today is special after all. The smell of delicious cooking leads Sikamete to the kitchen. There's fat cook and Russians frying in the pan, a rising cake baking in the oven, carrots, lettuce, and tomatoes being chopped for a salad, and there's a tasty slab of chocolate in the corner. She creeps in and tries to steal just one fat cook, just one for a taste. Mom slaps her hand away. Nope, not today, Sikamete. Saving this for later. Sikamete folds her hand. If Auntie Cindy was here, she'd have let me taste everything, even the dough. Sikamete is in a blanket sulking. Today is not a special day after all. It's so boring. Papa takes the blanket off her head. Nope, not today, Sikamete. Come, I need you to come to the station with me. Sikamete gets up and sulks. If Auntie Cindy was here, she would have let me stay in bed and maybe told me a story or two. Mama, Papa, and Sikamete walk to Park Station. Sikamete is busy sulking, so she doesn't see the rainbow sparkling in the distance or hear the group sing her favorite song at the corner. And worst of all, she does not see the shadow of someone familiar coming out of Park Station crowd. She would rather be home, on the roof, or with her friends. This is the worst day ever, she says. Nope, not today, Sikamete. Look, Mama and Papa both say, surprise! Sikamete looks up to see a super special person walking towards her. Auntie Cindy, she shouts, running towards her favorite auntie. Happy birthday, Auntie Cindy. I knew today was a special day. Nope, not today, Sikamete, Mama and Papa both say. Sikamete folds her hand. Today is a super duper special day, said Mama and Dad.
Mabel, I could listen to you all day long. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope people who are watching also go to the website and try it out and add their own words.
South Africa, it is not over yet. You can help Cadbury Dairy Milk ensure that all children can enjoy enchanting African language tales in their own language by translating just one word a day and co-authoring a library of African language children's stories, hashtag in our own words. Now, all you have to do is visit cadbury.co.za and at Cadbury Dairy Milk SA on Facebook or at Cadbury_SA on Twitter and Instagram to start sharing your words today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Pictures picture this, okay?
Okay.
You are grocery shopping with your kids and they spot items they want and ask you to buy it.
Okay.
You're picturing this? Now, the likelihood of you making an impulsive buy like this is high, as we often give into those requests on the spot. They're looking at us like this, like, oh, daddy.
I know.
But as a parent, we've all been there, but is giving into these requests teaching our children negative spending and saving habits?
We probably know the answer to that. We'll enter the game shopping agreement for children and teenagers that is helping to set up some ground rules when parents and kids shop together. Now, recently, South Africa's coolest kid, undoubtedly, and yes, cutest, according to Jamie, Valdo, signed this agreement. He joins us right now via video call this morning to share how he is learning to simply save. Valdo, good morning, little man. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing fine.
Valdo, I hope that you signed on the dotted line, that you kept the receipts and everything. Have you kept the agreement?
Yes.
Good. We're off to a good start, but I have to ask you, what is it like shopping with your parents, and what do they tell you if you want to buy something?
I need to work hard and do my house chores.
That's a solid agreement. I dig that. So what were some of the chores that you agreed to do when you signed your game shopping agreement? And how are those chores going? Are you keeping up your end of the bargain?
Yes. And it's washing the dishes
Good.
and making up my bed.
Nice one.
Valdo, and I'm sure it must be lots of fun being able to spend this time with your dad. How do you and your dad now plan for your shopping trips? Does he involve you in it? And maybe let us know if it is fun. This is a safe space. You can say if it's not fun, okay?
We look for sale.
You look for sales. That's good. That's good. You're off to a good start.
Yeah, man. No, you've got to, man. You're going to learn just the right habits right now. So when your parents gave you a budget to buy yourself something on your last shopping trip, how did you decide to spend it? What did you buy?
I bought the coolest toy.
What is it? What toy is it?
It's a toy that can stretch so long and it comes out water out of its mouth. I don't know.
It sounds awesome, man. It sounds like something my boy would absolutely love. Well done.
Valdo, are you saving up for anything special right now as well?
Yes.
What are you saving up for?
For a PlayStation 5.
Boom, 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 boom. Can I ask you a favor? When you say that, can you say a PlayStation 5 and give us a dab, please?
For PlayStation 5.
Boom! Enough said.
You're just taking cooler to a whole new level just for that dab.
I know,
Just for
man.
that.
You are awesome, little man, and I'm so glad that you are making the right kind of money choices right now and that your family are helping you on this journey. Do you want to say thank you to your parents? What do you want to say to your mom and dad right now for helping you with all these cool things?
I want to say they are the coolest parents, and thank you.
You are the coolest little dude, hey? Cuteness. Oh, no.
So cute.
You look like you're ready for school, man. You look very, very, very smart. What grade are you in at the moment?
I'm in grade 2.
Grade 2. What is your favorite subject at school?
Maths.
Maths. Wow.
Yes.
So maybe a future accountant in the works there. You've certainly got all the skills. Valdo, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning and for making the right kind of money choices at your age. You just got to make a promise. You're going to keep doing your chores, eh?
Yes.
Valdo, thank you so much, man. Have an awesome day and send lots of love to your folks for us, okay?
Okay. Peace.
Peace. Peace and Deb. I think we like just leveled up now. We are cool now. Now, of course, you at home, you can allow your children to take responsibility when going shopping. Now, whether it is to ensure you're getting all the items on the list or making sure you do not exceed your shopping budget for the day, all you have to do is download the agreement at game.co.za and teach your kids that saving can be fun like Waldo.
Yeah, because then you get to spend once you've saved, and that's a lot of fun. Remember, those store opening hours are Monday to Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday from 9 to 5, and then Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 4. So what are you waiting for? It's a steal.
Thanks a lot, you two beautiful people. Now, let's talk about fashion. I've got one of my favorite fashion people in here. In fact, probably my favorite fashion person. But before we get there, let's set the scene. You got soft, you got comfy, you got colorful, you got breathable, and that's pretty much sums up our kids' wardrobes. And this season is no different. Woolworths, their new Kiddies Tees collection is every child's dream. And fashion editor Knox Mafu is here to unpack the latest in kiddies fashion. Knox, always a pleasure. This is my favorite time.
It also is my favorite time. We get to talk clothes, but now it's for the little ones.
Yes.
Even cuter.
In fact, can I just make a note? This actually looks like my cupboard in size and everything, so it just works for me. It's a subject matter that I understand.
Tonga,
you know?
this is inspo. This is inspo.
Indeed.
You play too much.
So, always. So, when it comes to summer tees,
Yes.
I know Woolworths, they do things differently, which is wonderful. So, talk to me about, summer tees and what we can expect in the new season.
Well, I think the lovely part is that actually summer's on the way. Can you believe it? I know it doesn't feel like it right now.
Not at
It doesn't feel like it. But I think it's good to prep your summer wardrobe now. And so I think for the kiddies, it's a good time to get the plain pocket tees or the plain tees, which are great for your boys and your girls. And I think what's lovely about this is that they're great for playing in the sun. They really are durable and super comfortable. So those are kind of the big winners here, and you can catch them in a range of colors. Also, we've got graphic tees, which are doing exceptionally well at the moment and are all the fashion for the kids. So that's a big focus for us in our tees. It's going to be the graphics, the colors that are bold and spunky, but definitely comfort is the most important thing.
I'm so glad that you said that because I'm excited to get some of these for myself later. I see the graphics that's coming through quite strongly.
So great.
But
I mean, so cute.
Woolworths, you know how it goes. It's not just about a t-shirt. There's something different to it. I'm feeling it at the moment, and there is just some proper quality that I'm feeling, as I always do. But then I know from experience that the Woolworths t-shirts, they are so like wash durable. They don't really lose color and structure, which is fantastic.
There's actually a lot of technology to that. So we think that it's kind of like, oh my gosh, by chance, but there's a really conscious effort from the brand to do so.
Okay.
So because they use conscious cotton, you'll find that it's far more durable and much better for the kids' skin because, you know, they're far more like highly irritable in terms of their allergies and the like. So it's always made with conscious cotton and combed yarn so that it's tougher, that it can take the wash, that it can take a
combed yarn.
Yes.
That's how I describe myself in the morning. You know,
you're the combed
I'm like combed yarn.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
Absolutely. And then they've got these great enzymes which will keep the color.
Wow.
So all of these things, they go through much more rigorous processes because our kids are very precious.
Yes.
So they'll check that there's no metal pieces in there. We'll keep the strength of it is always great. But what I love about it is that the color will pop for ages because there is so much technology in how they weave that yarn and those extra steps they take to make sure that it's spotless.
I love that because I've noticed it. I've noticed you can wash it a couple of times and it's not going to go anywhere. Now, if I look at these tees, I'm seeing a bit of the tie-dye trend spilling over, the graphics coming in.
Have a look at some of this.
Yes, please, because obviously this is for my purposes as well. Especially, this is something that I'd get for myself.
So for you, I kind of thought about this. So this is a great tee that you can wear with anything. I love the simplicity of them, right? From the boys to the girls, we can have a lot of fun. So if we want to make a statement with a graphic tee, we can.
I'd wear that one with a blazer.
Absolutely. I think for you, that would be the best way.
Okay, but how do we properly style it? Okay, if we are going to look at summer tees, I think you're the best person to do that, and we have a model.
We have a model. So I think the model will actually be the best one to show us.
Yes, I mean, I was about to, but
we thought,
okay. I'll the professional.
Yes, girls. So we've got a matter here in a beautiful pocket plain tee, which I really love. We chose it in a bright yellow because I think summer is what we need to harness. And then with paired with cotton shorts, which are just in that tie-dye fashion which we were speaking about. But what we love about these is that you can buy them in a range of colors, in a range of styles, and you can make sure that your child is comfortable, but also looking super stylish.
And you can tell, I mean, look at this. There's confidence and there's comfort as well.
The whole time. Absolutely.
Because, you know, kids are not going to just sit there and look good. They're going to move. They want to move.
They want to move.
They
want to play.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing is that kids are here to play. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable doing so, but also look appropriate because you want to have a kid who looks good.
What I've noticed as well is that the stitching is quite secure when it comes to those sleeves.
Yes.
And those are the first to go, especially when you're playing a game of something and they're pulling on the t-shirt.
Actually, this will last. This will last any tough game on the garden. So I love these for that. And I mean, from the range of things that we have, even for the boys, when we've got their shorts, all of these are really durable, but also really fun and playful, which is important.
Thank you so much, model.
Thank you, model.
You're the best model ever. Just
Yes.
letting you know. It really is I mean, it's so nice to think about summer while it's this cold.
Wow,
Thank
it's
you.
important to focus on the good, right? It's coming. I promise it's coming.
Proactive fashion selections.
That's what we do here.
That's what Knox Mafu does. Absolutely incredible. Thank you very much for everything. And make sure you buy clothes that are soft on the beautiful earth as well as soft on the skin. You can buy Woolies' wide range of summer kiddies tees at Woolworths, available in stores, online and on the app. Go get some now. I'm going to. It's beautiful. Might get this one.
A promise to the planet to be gentle and treat nature with kindness. So there's always trees to climb, to plant the seeds for a better future. Woolworths, the difference.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yeah, middle of the week.
Having a lot of fun this morning, exploring new languages. Of course, we've spoken about the benefits, the incredible plus points in helping a young person learn a new language. But we heard it's difficult as an older person to learn, but not impossible. So we put it to you guys this morning. If there was any language that you could learn and take on board, what would it be?
Zanzi's come through, of course. We're starting with Shanaz David, who says, and I think she's agreeing with Collier, I'd like to speak the French language of love.
Yeah, of
and
love,
it definitely is the language of love. I mean, just hearing it, they could argue and shout at you and probably be cussing, and you just feel so loved.
Yeah, no, completely, man. Isabella Ellis saying, good morning, guys. On my favorite Expresso morning show, I would love to learn Spanish. I'm right there with you. And Turkish. It's one of my dreams to go there. And to Mexico, even if I know it would never... Oh, come on, Isabella.
Wow.
Maybe right now it's not a possibility, but don't seal that off completely.
Keep learning that language because you might still be using it in the future.
Go to Mexico.
I can see you there. And then Linda Fulyun says, first of all, I would love to have basic skills in all of SA's languages, and I want to be able to sign.
Sign language.
That is a skill, honestly.
That is awesome. Yeah, I think for me, a big focal point with my kids obviously is like isiXhosa or something like that that's going to help them within the South African context.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to know a Spanish or something like that, just to drop it, to feel a bit more international. We've had some great comments coming through. Thank you. Fiona saying isiXhosa because my great-grandmother was Xhosa and both my mom and dad spoke and speak the language absolutely fluently. My parents' greatest regret was not teaching their children the language.
Such a prominent cause as well. The fact that you're losing your culture in this too. And Malusi Chia says sign language so that I know how it feels like to communicate with people who can't hear and talk. I love that. Sign language is something I think is so valuable. It's a universal language. And the fact that you can speak it with without actually utilizing your voice? I mean,
I think it's a massive one. Tokozani saying, Chivenda, I don't know why, but I would love to learn that language. I think it's such a poetic language at that. But it's not just about the language, it's about learning about the culture. You immerse yourself and color yourself. You become so much more. So I love the fact that you guys are on the same plane as us. Let us know if there was a language that you could learn, what would it be?
Yeah, but for now, we're going back to the latest in the news, and Zoe's got that for us. Let's check it out.
Thank you, gentlemen. Looking at your national news, the government says all recovered stolen goods in both KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng will only be used as evidence in criminal cases where suspects will be appearing in court on charges of theft and looting. The acting minister in the presidency, Kumbutso Mtsaveni, yesterday briefed the media and said all recovered goods would afterwards be destroyed as its resale would negatively affect the economy. Looters are urged to return stolen goods. And the government yesterday declared the drought in several provinces a national disaster. The areas affected included parts of Eastern, Western and Northern Cape and some pockets in other provinces. The declaration means that the primary responsibility to deal with the situation falls under the national executive. Various state organs are now required to implement contingency plans. It places the national government in charge of coordinating the response to the drought under the same legislation that governs SA's pandemic state of disaster. Moving to news abroad, excuse me, China yesterday unveiled the fastest ground vehicle in the world, a maglev train capable of reaching 600 kilometers per hour. It made its public debut in the coastal city of Guangdong in China's Shandong province. The maglev train uses electromagnetic force to levitate above the track with no contact between body and rail. Although China has been using the technology for some 20 years, it's been on a very limited scale only. It would only take 2.5 hours to travel from Beijing to Shanghai, a journey which is currently 3 hours by plane. And the World Bank has announced a program to help medical clinics in Ivory Coast procure equipment from major electrical concerns, which could spur the cocoa-producing country's development into a regional medical hub. Many smaller clinics in Ivory Coast struggle to obtain the bank loans necessary to buy or rent essential medical equipment. The $300 million financing agreement will remedy the situation. As part of the agreement, Philips and General Electric will be the only two companies from which Ivorian companies, private and public medical facilities may procure medical equipment. And next, we have news of an amazing and very successful operation on a wee little frog. Now, someone has diamond hands, or that person is, well, that's a saying in the Bitcoin community, which means a person will never drag the price down through selling. Well, compared to the hands of an Australian veterinarian, Megan Barrow in Brisbane performed surgery on a tree frog the size of a fingertip. That's sweet blow all. Now, due to quite a big hole on the inside of his chest, the wee frog needed a stitching up and administering anesthesia diluted to 1/1000th of a dose to compensate for his tiny size. Megan went to work, and very soon she of the diamond hands declared the operation a success. Indeed, the wee frog was happily hopping around the clinic again the very next day. Cool Cat Megan only comment was extremely modest, saying, "I've done surgery on tiny frogs before and I was happy to help the little guy." Well, on that happy note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's hop on over to the news with Graham.
It looks like rugby and, of course, Olympics news dominating this morning. Let's start on the rugby front. Springbok head coach Jacques Ninova has named his team for the first test up against the British and Irish Lions at Cape Town Stadium this coming Saturday. Rugby World Cup winning captain Siya Kolisi is back. He'll lead the Boks after recovering from COVID-19. Then Fire of Andre Pollard also back in the fold, and he's been named as vice captain and will earn his 50th international cap for South Africa when he takes to the field. Then following on from that, South African rugby and the British and Irish Lions yesterday confirmed that the Lions series will conclude in the mother city. The second and third tests were originally scheduled to take place at the F&B Stadium in Johannesburg, but will now remain in Cape Town. And the decision was made following extensive consultation with medical experts on the risks associated with the Delta variant of the coronavirus. Now, onto a drama-filled week in the Olympics. The Springbok Sevens team finally had their first outdoor training session in Japan more than a week after arriving in the country. The Blitzboks faced a number of setbacks since arriving for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, but have now been cleared by authorities to return to the field. So firstly, the team underwent 2 separate isolation periods in Tokyo and then Kagoshima. And of course, head coach Neil Powell tested positive for COVID-19 as well and will now miss the Rugby Sevens Olympic tournament, but does remain in touch with the squad via virtual coaching sessions. Staying with the Olympics, Olympic dressage rider Tanya Seymour's dream of competing at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics has come to an end before it even started. Her horse, Ramoneur, suffered a debilitating case of laminitis, which resulted in swelling and inflammation of the hoof. Now, Seymour made equestrian history at the 2016 Olympics in Rio, when she became the first dressage rider to represent South Africa at the Games. But with Ramoneur ruled out, the 37-year-old Seymour will not compete at this year's Olympics. And then, again, staying with the Olympics, 6 swimmers from Team Poland have been sent home from the Tokyo Olympics after too many were selected by mistake. Now, Poland initially chose 23 athletes, but cut that number to 17 based on the world governing body FINA's qualifying rules. The president of the Polish Swimming Federation, Paweł Slominski, expressed great regret, sadness and bitterness about the situation as he apologized for the gross mistake. Well, that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this hour. We'll touch on them again at 8 o'clock. Right now, let's see what the weather has in store for us globally and back home with regards to our temperatures for today.
Thanks a lot, G. Let's start off with that weather news from abroad. Now, China is, there's some news coming out of there. There's an operation that was actually underway late last night to rescue passengers submerged in waist-deep floodwaters on a subway train. The passengers were traveling in central Henan province yesterday when they became stranded amid the rising water. Now, video and images posted to social media show people standing on train seats to try and remain above the water. It's not yet known how many people were trapped or are still trapped in the train, but some 300 have been rescued so far. China's Henan province has been hit hard by heavy rain in recent days, resulting in flooding that has affected more than a dozen cities. Many subway stations were affected. Video posted online. In fact, these show several of these places inundated with flood water. At least 1 person has died and 2 are missing, the state media reported. And our thoughts are with everybody in China. In fact, we're going to stay there and remain in China for our internationally featured city for your 7 a.m. update as we head to the city of Shangzhou, which is the capital and largest city of the Henan province. Now, the city serves as the political, economic, technological, and educational center of the province. Shangzhou was the capital of China during the Shang dynasty. Parts of the Shang era capital city wall that were built 3,600 years ago still remain in downtown Shangzhou. The city remains, or should I say, maintains abundant cultural heritages that reflect its glorious history as well as the culture of Henan province. Orange warnings have been issued for rainstorms in the area as the day remains cloudy and cool. We hope any viewers based in Shangzhou are remaining safe and dry, and here for watching Expresso. Moving on to, and lastly, in fact, I should say, we love this part of the show. We feature some of your sunrise photos and they have been fantastic. Thanks a lot for posting them on the Expresso Facebook page. Thank you to you, Henry van Wyk from Pietermaritzburg, for sharing this early morning shot as the sun begins to rise, casting its rays through the trees. And let's head inland to Bloemfontein. Atubaleng Jerry shared this beautiful photo as the sun rises in the distant horizon. We have included some virtual international travel on our Friday shows, as you may have noticed, and this Friday is no different. We head to the UK this Friday, and we would love to see any of your pictures. If you have lived there or you visited there, please post away. Head on over to the Expresso Facebook page and show us your UK pictures. We'd love to see them and feature them on the show on Friday. Moving on to some of the temperatures across South Africa. Polokwane, you can expect 5 this morning. That rises to 21. Bombela, 10 to 30 for you today. Pretoria, 3 to 21. Johannesburg, 0 to 17. Mahikeng, -2 is where you start. You're up to 19 later. Klerksdorp, -3, and that goes up to 16. Kimberley, -3 to 13. Bloemfontein, -5 to 13 for you. Richards Bay, 12 to 20. Pietermaritzburg, 2 to 19. Durban, 10 degrees Celsius this morning, and you're about 19 degrees Celsius a little later. Mthatha, you start at 2, but you're up to 17. East London, 7 to 19. Cradock, -2 to 15 today. Gqeberha, 6 to 18, with a 55% chance of rain in your area. George, you have a 73% chance of rain. 4 is your low to a high of 15. A minimum of 8 degrees Celsius in Cape Town today to a maximum of 13. 76% chance of rain if it's not raining already. Worcester, you start at 0 up to 8. Here, this Sutherland, please stay warm. You are -6 with a 66% chance of snow with a maximum of just 2. So please stay warm. And Uppington, -2, and you're up to 14. That's a tad later. That's a wrap of your temperatures as well as your weather news. If you have any good sunrise photos, send them my way on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thank you, Wasey. And listening to those cold temperatures, we're about to heat things up in the kitchen. Now, over the past month, we have been so inspired to eat better by all of your color your plate with Koo creations. And this morning, we will be coloring our own plates with a delicious chickpea veggie wrap. Now, the more color on your plate means also more wholesome benefits, and this dish is the perfect balance for that. Now, Raul, you're about to show me how to make this delicious veggie wrap.
Yes, so it's so simple, it's so easy, but of course we've got all these ingredients to make that 5-color Koo plate come to life. So I'm going to start off with the basics, and it's very simple. We've got a half a cup of mayo, which I'm going to chuck into the bowl over here. And then, let me just use that rather. And then we've got some lemon, just a squeeze of lemon will do, just to kind of balance it out and give it a nice little tang at the same time. Then some salt, to touch or to feel or to taste, however you prefer it. You don't have to throw all of it in. And then I've got some curry powder in here as well. So this is just giving you a little bit of that warmth. You know, it's winter, kind of warm up the body, give that umami feel as well. It just goes that extra mile.
And there's something about having that spiciness with your mayo that's just absolutely excellent. And I have a weakness when I eat mixed veg to have it with a dash of mayo. So I love the idea of adding some spice to it.
What's not good with mayo, of course.
Yeah.
Now, here's the hero ingredients. We've got some mixed veg, and in this, I love the fact that we've got some carrots, some green peas, some beans, as well as potatoes. So already getting some good nutritional value in this. I mean, eyesight, antioxidants, vitamins, you name it. And then, on top of that, we have used a full can of the mixed beans. We're going to use half a can of chickpeas, all right? Now, this has been decanted, so I've taken a bit of the brine out of it.
Here we go.
So it kind of like honestly saves me, I would say, 5 hours worth of work trying to figure this all out, trying to like heat it up, get it reduced, etc.
It's all about that convenience, and what's amazing about the Koo mixed vegetables, it's a source of dietary fiber, it is low in fat and cholesterol free, which is all the goodness that we want. And the Koo mixed vegetables is also great for your 5 a day with Koo, which is also, like Raul said, this is an easy way to get that 5 a day on your plate.
Simple as that. Now, Zoe, while you just finished one sentence, I've almost finished the entire meal.
Look at that.
So I've got the mixture in my bowl over here, and the simple part about this is all we've got to do is now lay it onto our wrap. And you can already see we've got chickpea, we've got veg, we've got all that beautiful, delicious, lush sauce in here as well. And the simple part about this is you now wrap it up and have fun with it.
Okay, so I always struggle with a wrap. I think maybe I'm a bit too eager, or by the time I get to filling my wrap, I'm a bit hungry. So I always put too much filling, and then when it comes to the wrapping or the folding part of the wrap, it always oozes out and goes all over the place.
Don't worry, Zoe, I got
no
you.
pressure.
So I'm the kind of guy that wants all the fillings that I can get on my wrap, right? I want as much protein, as much veg, the more the merrier. And I've learned the hard way. I've often bit into a wrap and then
everything goes out, yes.
Exactly that.
So let me see how you wrap
Mzansi,
this.
This is Ryle, Chef Ryle's new tip on how to make the drip-free wrap, all right? So normally what we do in this phase over here, let me just line this up a little bit better for you, all right? You need to understand and define where the top and the bottom of this is going to be. Now, especially when you have the bottom, you want to keep some space in the bottom section. This is my bottom over here.
It's your bottom, okay?
It's my bottom, my bottom. Now, Mzansi, here's the crux in it all. You got to go for a little roll, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a lid or some form of a bowl, and that's kind of just going to keep everything together, and that's the magic right there. Then we go for a basic fold over the top, another one over there, and look at this.
Look at that.
Drip-free. I can shake and bake all day and nothing will come up my wrap. As simple as that, so. And you can have fun with it too.
Okay, so that's your wrap. We're gonna serve it with some potatoes.
Yes.
Make one for me too,
Let me
please?
make one for you, certainly. I'll get you the perfect
there we
wrap on it
go.
as well. And I mean, like, look how fun this is. The kids, the family can all get involved in this. It's really difficult to mess it up. I mean, clearly, if I can do it, then...
Then anyone can do it, but I mean,
Proofs
your
in the
cooking
pudding.
skills are good, so don't sell yourself
there. We're getting
short.
there.
And what's amazing about getting all our veggies in, it's so good for our digestive system, for our health, our gut health especially. And you know what is also perfectly balanced? This is a perfectly balanced meal. I love how you're going to cut it for me.
Look at that. Voila.
You're a
Food
proper
styling
chef.
like Nicole Snelling herself.
Oh, well, amazing. You know what? Getting your 5 a day is simple as just adding 2 fruits and 3 veggies from your coup across your daily meals like we've done here. We've got our mixed veggies, we've used our chickpeas, we've got our wraps and some potatoes. So already there, we've got 3 of our elements from our 5 a day. And this really is a perfectly balanced meal that gives you everything that you need. And it is super easy to make like Raul just showed us. Now, we want to see what you can create. So why don't you enter to be a contestant on Color Your Plate with Coup by sending us creative meal creations. And if you're wondering how you can enter, here's a quick reminder.
Are you Mzansi's next cooking star? If your cooking makes the pots born, enter to be on SABC2's new show, Color Your Plate with Coup. To be part of the show, buy any 3 Coup products and send Coup 5 a day to 072-741-5357 on WhatsApp and follow the steps to load a picture of your colorful meal with your own twist. Stand to win your share of 500,000 rands worth of prizes with Coup. Coup uzogcwala.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3, and we have a very, very important artist to introduce you to. And I can tell you that this guy has got a heart of a fighter. I'll tell you why in a second. He's got the soul of an artist, and his name is Amir Hendricks, and he is a pop music singer who is also a 5-time South African fighting champion. That's right. That's the talent. Yeah. He's joining Expresso as our performer for the day, but before he takes to the stage, I thought let's get to know the man a bit better. So please give a massive Expresso welcome to Amir Hendricks!
Thank you for the very warm welcome.
Yes.
I appreciate it. It's quite
man.
cold.
It is a bit cold.
That warmed me up a bit.
I will warm you up more if you want. We could actually do this entire interview while we're doing. Let's go for it. So that's all right. So I just want to ask you something, okay? So how was the celebration with regard to Eid? Eid Mubarak, by the way.
Thank you. Eid Mubarak to everyone that's keeping today as well. So I actually kept Eid yesterday with my family. My family prefers to kind of keep with you know,
The global
Mecca
clock.
and yeah, the global clock and
Oh,
everything.
okay.
But there's another part of my family that keeps the day, so I probably will see them. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
With COVID and everything,
Yeah.
it might be best not to. But like, I don't know.
I'm sure you'll find a way, because you know you're the type of person who always finds a way to balance things out. I mean, I've seen your career and you balance quite a bit of things. But I want to start off with the singing career. Everybody's got that person that says, Amir, you can sing, man. Try this.
Yeah.
Who was that person for you that said you must go and pursue your passion?
Yo, where does that start? Well, I think that goes back to like my friends, like some of my closest friends back then,
Yeah.
well, my best friend specifically.
Okay.
She just forced me to sing one day because I played guitar ever since primary school.
All right.
And then she was like, no, you have to sing. I was like, I can't sing. And she was like, no, give it a try, and literally forced me. I remember pushing her into the cupboard so she couldn't watch me sing.
Excuse me, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. So I just want to catch that. So you pushed somebody into a
Yeah,
cupboard?
into the cupboard. I was
So
like,
they would
okay, I'll
not-
sing, turn it on, close the door, now I'll sing. You're not going to watch me sing.
I'd never heard of that strategy before.
It worked.
Of singing. So
It was either that or
are you
picture...
suggesting that if I were to start my singing career,
Yeah.
and I were to get someone like Zoe and Graham, I should push them into the cupboard and then
course,
say,
100%.
okay,
Just
fantastic.
push them in there. Close it.
I'm learning every single time. I am learning a lot from you. I mean,
Yeah, but then it actually started at a fashion show. I was playing guitar at the fashion show. And then I
Okay.
met this producer who told me come through to the studio and play some leads on a song. So I was like, of course, we'll give it a try.
Okay.
And I was over the top. I was like, yo, I'm going to a studio. That's so crazy. And then he asked me if I could sing. I was like, again, I don't know. And then he kind of helped me, groomed me in a way. And I've been doing it since 2017.
did that person also get pushed into a cupboard? Or?
Nah, I made him stand outside.
Okay, I just wanted to ask.
He didn't have a cupboard.
But the thing is, you got a lot in your cupboard, Mania. Not only singing, but also, I mean, you're in peak physical condition.
Really?
Like, I find myself sitting up straighter next to you. I don't know
trying
why.
to
You just got
poke
that.
you like,
You see, that's the thing. You look at that form. But I don't know how you do it, because you're pursuing your music career. You got like 6 singles out, and then you also run a gym. I don't even know how that's possible. How do you balance everything?
So I started the Fight House a couple of years ago. Then I took a break to focus on music.
Yeah.
And then when I felt that, I'm happy with how things are going, let me focus on the Fight House a bit. And then I did that. But I recently partnered up with this gym in Greenpoint. I'm now at Oxygen Functional Fitness. It's in Vatican. So there I do the fighting, the boxing training and everything. More like box fit, because a lot of people, they want to learn the skill, but they don't want to fight like full time. So they just want to have fun.
All right.
So that's where I step in. And then the other trainers, they're amazing people. They do like CrossFit and things. So
Yes.
combining that with the boxing just makes you one explosive athlete. And it's been cool. But managing it, it's been tough.
That's what I was going to ask, because I mean,
Especially
you have
with
to
studies,
record.
'cause I'm studying.
Oh, you're studying as well?
Yeah, I'm studying
What
as
else are you doing? Sorry, you're studying, you're running a gym,
Yeah.
and you're an artist. What else? And sorry, so he choked at the back there and pushing people into cupboards. So there's a lot of on your CV at the moment.
Well, I mean, I fight as well, like other than training people.
You fight.
Yeah.
Do you fight with people in the cupboard or out in a ring?
In the ring.
Oh, okay.
The people in the cupboard are fine.
I don't know how you do it all. So are you doing like, the matches and you're getting into it and the boxing space as well?
I haven't fought a boxing fight yet. I've fought mainly karate.
Oh.
So I've been doing that since 4 years old.
So boxing and karate as well now?
Yeah, it's like
and
19
singing.
years.
And running a gym. And dropping the singles, being an artist.
Yeah.
And the cupboard thing.
And the cupboard thing.
Wow. If you have any tips for anybody who wants to juggle as many things as you are doing, what is the one thing that kind of keeps you balanced?
Honestly, just this affirmation that I tell myself over and over is I sit down and when things get tough and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
A lot with studies. I look at the books and I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yes.
And then I just think like, in 5 years' time, I'm going to be exactly where I want to be. So just knowing that making that sacrifice now, going through everything horrible right now will be worth it at the end is what keeps me going.
That is power, my friend. Amir Hendricks, thank you so much for joining us. It's so good to get to know you because there are 3 performances coming up for Amir a little bit later. So if you want to be a part of that, all you have to do is stick around in your Feel Good Breakfast show. We will not push any talent into the cupboard. We'll present them to you, Amir Hendricks, a little bit later on the show.
Thank you.
Oh,
Can we come out of the cupboard yet? Are we allowed out of the cupboard yet?
We can come out of the closet. There we go.
Please. Coming out of the closets today.
There we go.
Live on Expresso.
Well, we want to connect with you on social media with regards to our Good Morning post. And this morning we asked you the question, if you could learn, what's one language you've always wanted to learn, and tell us why. So let's take a look at some of the comments.
Yeah, man. Lekona saying, good morning, Expresso. I hope you're having a good morning, Exeni. I would like to learn sign language so I can be able to communicate with deaf and many more. Love learning new language can help. I like the paraphrasing there as well. You got a lot into a small message. Well done. But I love the idea of learning sign language. I think that's beautiful.
There we go.
Flair, but we've got so many official languages here in our own country and so many cultures merging, especially now. I think a lot of people thinking, what can I do to bridge that cultural gap as opposed to kind of single myself out or be pushed into a closet and not see or hear anything in the world around me. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know on our social media platforms. What language would you learn if you could? In fact, what language are you going to learn and most want to?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're beautiful, sir. So I'm having so much fun, and the kids here are getting so distracted, but we have to do something real, unfortunately, and that means that we get to play code, though, and it's that time of the morning now. And as an adult, we understand the importance of exercise in our daily lives, but exercise is not only important for grown-ups, but it is very important for children too. Now, kinderkineticist Amelia Donis, who focuses on the development of children from a movement perspective, joins us in the studio to take us through some basic home exercises for kids while the schools are closed. Now, I can't wait for this, Amelia. We've chatted to you before, and I'm probably the biggest kid in the playground, so you've got 3 kids that you can take through in this session this morning. Who are we joined by? It's Logan and Taylor, I believe. Good morning, guys. Are we ready to make some magic? Right, so what are we doing now, Amelia?
Okay, so today we're focusing on core stability as well as just strengthening the core, because at the end of the day, we need them strong when they're sitting in the desk, not falling over and that kind of stuff.
Brilliant.
So firstly, I'm going to give you guys a color. You guys need to rush to a color as fast as possible, making sure they come back with a color. But there's a twist in everything. So I'm going to say something, so listening is a skill.
So do I have to actually grab the color and...
You grab a color and come back as fast as possible.
You guys ready?
You guys ready?
Okay, let's do this.
On your marks, get set, red.
Ah, there's no red for me.
Here's one over there. Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go pink.
I think you just cheated.
Okay, then last one. Touch your nose. Touch your eyes. Touch your head. Touch your back. Whoa. Ooh, good.
Hey, you teach me the whoa.
Okay, then our next exercise will go as follows. So we are going to sit down on the floor.
Am I joining in, yes?
You're sitting down, I'll get the cone seat back.
Right.
So we're going to transfer the cone from one side to the other side, okay?
Okay.
So Logan's going to start for us. Feet up. So we're all going to sit down like this. Feet up. I'll start from this side. And go. As fast as possible, okay? Fast, fast. So this is also working the core.
Okay, I'm feeling this. I'm
left
feeling
and
this in
right
the core, is that
discrimination.
correct?
You're working
That's
our
supposed to be
core.
working, okay. Nice
Okay, so you can go
distraction,
all the way down like that.
Let's go, team, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And then as a progression, we'll also obviously try to move with our feet.
Excuse me?
Moving it with our feet.
Moving it with our feet.
That's a progression.
Wow,
But we'll do
okay.
that on another day.
We're going to work our way up to that, all right?
Okay. And the next exercise, we will be doing the plank.
I like how you look and you think, like, what should
What
we do
else can I
next?
do?
You got this plethora of options when it comes to exercise, and I
Of
must say, all
course.
of these are so much fun. It doesn't feel like I'm working out when it comes to the fact that it's just a game, but yet I am still getting the stimulation from a normal exercise as well. So this is like a bit of a hybrid, the best of both worlds, right?
Exactly. That's the goal for kindergartens at the end of the day, to make sure that through exercise and play, they don't really realize they're actually exercising. And that's the goal.
Why is this not a thing for adults as well?
We should
Yeah,
make
you
it,
know what I mean?
we should definitely make it. That's why it's important also to incorporate the parents. So all these things, if you don't have cones at home, you can obviously use socks. You can use of your mom's Tupperware. Hopefully not.
Awesome.
Anything that you can find in the house, you can obviously use it.
And the parents can get involved too.
That's the
Zanzi,
whole goal.
what's your excuse? Come
That's the
on, you
goal.
can
Bobby
use
and
plates, you
me.
can use cloths, you can get creative. You don't need beacons, but the whole family can have fun and, of course, benefit from the stimulation too. I'm waiting for the next one. What is it?
The next one is called an inchworm.
Inchworm.
But I'm renaming it to wormy.
Okay.
Okay, so what's going to
Does it
happen?
involve another complex dance move that you just didn't want to teach me?
Maybe not. You might. You just have to wait and see. So the following is straight legs, straight arms, okay? So you're going to go down all the way, move forward, collect your cone, and come back with your cone.
Oh, all
And
right.
put it down like
Can you guys do this? Okay, let's see. Just take it away.
And let's go. Grab it.
Wow, all right, you guys made that look easy. Let me try this out.
Back down
Pink
again.
one.
Okay, so next up,
Nice, all right.
we're going to progress it, okay? So
Okay.
now, we're going to go all the way forward, come right back up, and do a burpee.
Whew, now we're stepping things up. We're earning our lunch, I see, earning
Yeah.
that breakfast.
Definitely. So we're going to go all the way down, get your cone,
Got my cone.
come back up, and burpee, and whoa.
And whoa!
You got that one.
I'm here for the whoa. I must say, these are so much fun. It reminds you of the nostalgic moments that I had as a kid, although this seems like it's more practical because, again, you're forcing movement mechanics, which I think are so beneficial for kids. And the fact that we're always playing online and always playing TV games, this is such a great alternative. It's fun, it's building the body, and at the same time, everybody can get involved. I absolutely love that. Amelia, you guys rock too. That was absolutely incredible. And I think we've worked up a beautiful appetite. And this next recipe is going to be something you do not want to miss. And I can tell you it is going to be a creamy, delicious treat. Nice job, team.
You know it. It's going to be creamy, delicious, and it's July. And believe it or not, it's inaugural World Guacamole Month, initiated by the World Avocado Organization. Timing couldn't be better with the Olympics officially kicking off on Friday, which means many of us will be watching and reaching for those little TV tidbits as well as snacks. But why not ditch the high-fat chips and dips and other traditional TV nibbles for quick, no-fuss guacamole that is nutritious and delicious and made by Graham? I mean, what else can you ask for? Let's think about that for a second. Take us through, Chef.
I am really excited about the fact that guacamole has become the official food of the Olympics.
Right.
Okay, this I can get down with. I love it. It's something simple, it's fresh, it's delicious, and it's uber healthy. And we are so blessed to have the most amazing avos in our country. The Avo Growers Association here, it's one of the best in the world. The rest of the world wants our avocados.
Yes.
Or avocado.
Yeah, avocado, yeah.
So that's what we're going to rock and roll with today. We've got some beautiful avos here. And it's simple. I mean, you can spice this up with flavors that you really like. I would probably add a little bit of heat to this.
I'm also a heat fan. In fact, my favorite fruit is habanero. So I would I'd throw some habanero in there, blow somebody's head off at the table.
You know that I made the mistake of rubbing my eyes after chopping a habanero, and I haven't gone back since, to be honest. I don't trust myself anymore. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the one thing we're going to add here, which people might not necessarily, because you might have like a guac and a salsa separate from each other. We're kind of combining the two to get the most out of that flavor. You check one of the Avo tips that we were given last week. If the Avo's really ripe,
That was one of the coolest tips that I've ever seen, by the way. That was actually looked really, really awesome.
We're all
I
about
enjoyed that.
So what I did there was I just pushed the back of the avo to get the pip out, so you don't have to kind of...
Because there's that whole knife trick that you learnt on the food channels, and then they were like, "Bah-bah."
And it is
looked a bit
exciting but this one is really simple. And obviously, when making a guacamole, you want to make sure that your avos are perfectly ripe, as these are. They are beautiful. They are buttery.
I can tell, and also the creamy from here. I can see it's as creamy and it's gorgeous and it's delicious.
And I don't know how you feel. I mean, you could probably even blend it if you really want to go that far, but I quite like it a bit more chunky, a bit more rustic, if you will.
I also enjoy that because you want to taste exactly what you're tasting, because the thing is, let's be honest, avocado is, I mean, traditionally avocados, they were just very, very ripe avocados. The guacamole was just mashed together, but now with the additives that you can put in there, you start to taste each one of these flavors, and I think avocado is just a great vehicle for flavor.
It really is. It's a beautiful foil. So let's talk about the flavors that are going in here. I've got some smoked paprika.
That's
beautiful. And again, to taste, okay? It's all about what you like.
Yes.
I've got some salt and pepper to taste. I love a lot of black pepper with my avo. So I often just eat an avo with just a little bit of vinegar and tons of black pepper. That, for me, is gold. But we've got a bit of pepper going in there.
Very, very good.
Then we've got some chopped spring onion. Which is going to give nice textural elements. And then a must for me is finely diced red onion. It's got a lovely sweet flavor profile. It's going to also give you another textural element. So if you're going to be dipping chips into this guy, you're going to get the crunch. You went like as far as you could with that tomato.
What are you talking about? I just gave you a nice. It's just a dice.
Oh, that is some fine dicing.
You just wanted to dice. That's
finely.
You should see me on the racetrack to watch me dice there. No, I'm just kidding.
But look at that. That's beautiful. It's got color, which means you know you're getting a truckload of nutrients in there as well. And as you say, the avo becomes a wonderful foil for the other flavors.
It does. It does.
Excuse me. I think I sniffed some of the smoked paprika.
It happens to the best of us. Yes.
For me, I would honestly add maybe a little bird's eye chili or something in there just to elevate
or
the
something
heat.
more chilled, like a jalapeno. I think if you just remove the seeds, then because I love the little kicks of heat that you get, because the avocado is actually quite a nice coolant for chili, which is also very, very good.
Lest we forget.
Yes, don't forget the zest of life.
And this is for a number of reasons. Obviously, the flavor profile, because you always want to have a bit of acidity with everything. A bit of salt, a bit of sweet, a bit of acidity. And that smells so fresh.
And I love the fact that this is also something that you can, I mean, everything can go into guacamole. I mean, you can go chips, you can go, you know, I mean, I would even go as far, I know it would be like fat, but I would do like cheese sticks and just dip in there as well.
Take a slice of avocado.
Yeah, I actually would do that. I would take a little avocado and I dunk it in the guacamole.
Okay,
why not, right?
Why am I putting... Okay, yes, we want the acidity from the flavor profile, but why else am I putting the lemon juice in this?
The assumption is that the citric acid stops the oxidation process of the avocado.
You know what assumptions are.
I'm assuming that that's what.
You are on the money.
Am I? Thank you.
If you don't want your avo to go brown or oxidize, you've got to use the lemon juice or that acidity. And if you've kind of cut, and it's a good thing if you're storing half of an avo in the fridge, bit of lemon juice on it, and it will stay green and beautiful and fresh. Buddy, do you want to wander your way across?
Well, I mean, this is what you did earlier, isn't it?
I thought a platter for my booze.
Did you see the cheeses? Yeah, I told you the cheese. The dunking of the cheese works there.
Wine and cheese.
Celery, and I mean, you can really. This is such a great spread if you are going to be entertaining as well. Of course, the COVID-friendly way is to make sure they get the toothpicks going. Yeah. Supposed to everybody dunking
in. Don't double dip the guacamole.
That's
okay. But go for it. Grab a chip there, or grab whatever you want. Actually,
I'm going to go for one of these because she made this earlier, and let's go for it.
Nice crunch, nice mouthfeel. Huh?
Chunky. Smooth.
Wow.
Aromatic smoked paprika coming to the nose. Very, very beautiful. And I think I want to know where to get this recipe, please.
Well, you can find it on expressoshow.com.
Thank you. I actually can't stop chewing now. I'm going to take Rovor's and guacamole. Let's make it South African.
No, you didn't.
Andale!
An avo, nurtured in South Africa.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on S3. Now, more than ever, you know, when finding work in South Africa has been a bit of a challenge, especially for our youth. Now, one crowd may advocate for, you know, getting a solid education, and then another may actually advocate for hitting the ground running and working your way through the system to get experience where you can.
Yeah, now this morning we're going to be doing something special, gents. We got another would you rather question to pose, and the popular opinion is going to be weighed out on this. Now the question is, you're in a second year of study and you get offered an amazing job at a reputable company, but it's impossible to do both. Now, would you rather quit your studies and take the job, or B, turn down the job and finish your degree? This is a tough
it's weird. I thought that it would confuse, because I didn't study because I started working when I was like 12.
Yeah.
So I'm like a former child star. So I had my career going, but it's...
Former child star.
My friends even call me former child star, which is ridiculous.
But to be fair, I did,
So you were one of the ones that were lucky to find your flow state and your experience.
Yeah, but a lot of us in the industry did start young because we were just those kind of people.
Yeah.
So, and I was really lucky, but in our industry, there is no substitute for experience. Yeah. We see some amazingly well-educated people coming into the fold, but there's just that crunch time experience that you need to excel in this job. So I would probably say you can always go back and study, but that ideal job that could unlock your future might not come around again for another 3-4 years.
Might lose that moment.
And my thing was, well, by taking this job, I can pay for my own studies later, and I just got too busy to ever go back and study. But
look where you are now.
That's my thinking.
I would go with the other option, with option A, only because I'm in second year. Generally, most degrees are 3 years. I think
So
for
close.
me, it's...
Yeah.
I came from a position where there wasn't money to waste. So if I had to leave during my second year, I would have wasted my parents' money. So I would have pushed to finish my degree, only because if a company really wants you, they'll understand that you want to finish your degree, because life gets busy. You're not going to go back and study.
Can I change my answer?
Nope,
I
too
want
late.
to propose this to you, Zoe. In your exact same scenario, what happens if it is your dream job, something as a kid that you've always wanted, and in second year, just before you're running your exam, the offer's there. It's now or never, Zoe.
And they're going to pay you 55,000 rand a month.
I will finish my degree, because imagine what then they'll pay me.
I think what I like about the universe in this one is that if it's meant for Zoe, this dream job, if it's meant for you, then it will come around again.
Okay.
Because I don't think that anything that's meant for you will miss you.
I like that. And I think if it is meant for you, then the timing should always be perfect.
Indeed.
I love that. I love what you guys are talking about. But let's see what the rest of you have to say, Mzansi, and everybody else on the social media channels this morning. Coming through first is Victoria. What has she got to say?
All right, Victoria says, complete your studies first. If you can't do both, there will be even better opportunities in the future, and you will even be better equipped for those opportunities as well. Thanks a lot, Victoria.
And then we've got Gregorius Molex Lexus says, B, after finishing my degree, I'm getting back to them with an offer. So a lot like Zoe over there. I like that. Investing in yourself
Finish your degree
first.
and go back and say, I think what you were thinking of offering me was this.
Yes.
I'm going to write a number on a bit of paper.
You left another zero on the end there.
Yeah, write a number down.
No, I think it's different if you didn't study and the job opportunity came, by all means. That's my take on it. But I'm like halfway through my studies, might as well push and finish.
I feel you, especially when I think about my study years. It was the hardest years of my life. Man, that was hard stuff to get through. I wouldn't want to make it a year longer.
But I think it's important for people, especially your future employees, to know that you can complete something.
Yeah.
And I think something like a degree is also a good fallback, because if that job doesn't work out, then what happens?
And it's also about knowing how to learn. Like, we constantly learn throughout our adult life. And I think that's one thing where I've been lucky, is to hone that skill of learning in the space. But if a company knows that you can learn, that you can take on these skills, like you say, that you can follow through.
Yes.
Something
I love it. Mzansi's got more to say about this. Let's see what's up. And we've got Jasmine, I think. Jasmine Dupree. She says, "Ish, what a difficult one." But I know
it is.
I know that as reputable as the company can be, it wasn't part of the plan or dream. So for me, B, I turned down the job and finished my studies. And then second year of studying, so that was definitely the plan, of course. And because you study what you want to become and not take a job you know nothing of. So the minute you're studying should be the minute that you're investing in your future, and you should stick to that plan. I love that. And the last on the list, we've got Anastasia Hannah saying, be for sure, education remains a valuable inheritance. Once you start working, life becomes hectic.
Yeah, true. Very true.
I have another thing I would add to B if you decide to continue studying and finishing up is you can always do an internship during your university breaks or your whatever institution you're studying at.
Yeah, that sounds
and you get that experience because when you enter the job market, you've got that experience.
How did you eat and survive, man? You've got to work, man.
Listen, as a student, you're naturally poor.
Yeah. This debate can go on and on. I just realized that. I mean, not all of us are child stars and former puppeteers and Mina move, but it's okay. But anyway, navigating life isn't easy, as you can see, but you don't have to make those big financial decisions on your own. Speak to your family, speak to a mentor, or reach out to the experts. There's always help available.
And now, if you are currently studying or in school, then visit the unlock.me website from Nedbank, and here you will find and have access to a whole host of advice and resources to help you unlock your potential and career opportunities. So visit unlock.me, and of course, the rest is all yours.
Indulge your desires. Be swept away by the fragrance of dissent. Take the plunge into impulsive spending until you find yourself deeper and deeper, drowning in debt. In this world of temptation, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
Your Feel Good Breakfast Show continues, and I just want to send a very special message to every single Muslim viewer. I want to say Eid Mubarak to you if you are indeed celebrating, all the blessings to you and your loved ones. And we're in for some feel good vibes to celebrate this morning as we're joined by pop artist Amir Hendricks. He's kicking us off. When I say kicking, he's a fighter, so he's actually literally going to kick with his new single called Ride or Die. Take a look.
You keep on telling me that you need time. I know the truth is that you can't make up your mind. I'll bide the time. You keep on telling me that you need space. I let you be, but you won't let me walk away. So if I stay, will you be my ride? Will you be my die? Will you take it further with me tonight? Will you take it further with me this time? Will you take it further with me? Everything is clear when you're by my side. Will you take it further with me tonight? Will you take it further with me this time? Will you take it further with me tonight? That it's just the phase. I know it's easier to save yourself the pain you crave and hate. Both of you thinking that it's just a case. You contemplating I hate to walk away. So if I stay, will you be my ride? Will you be my die? Will you take it further with me tonight? Will you take it further with me this time? Will you take it further with me? Everything is clear when you're by my side. Will you take it further with me tonight? Will you take it further with me this time? Will you take it further with me tonight? I hate to hear the lies you don't believe in. used to change. No one makes me feel this way. So please tell me if I stay. Will you be my right? Will you be my daddy? Will you take it further with me tonight? Will you take it further with me this time? Will you take it further with me? Everything is clear when you're by my side. Will you take it further with me tonight? Will you take it further with me this time? Will you take it further with me tonight?
Yes! 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 I mean, don't run into the cupboard. Stay here, my friend. Come on now. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. He'll be back with 2 more performances, so make sure you stay right there. And given the fact that this guy is into combat, it's bound to be kick butt. It is Expresso and S3. Where are you going? Come, let's go to the cupboard. Come, let's go.
If you eat, sleep and dream of baking, enter the Tastemaster SA's new season starting in September on SABC2. Grow your career in TV and as a baking influencer and stand to win 20,000 rands cash plus 50,000 rands worth of premium kitchen products. To enter, share a video of you baking a wonder you've created with tried and trusted Royal Baking Powder. Upload your video and complete your application on the tastemaster.co.za website. Entries close Sunday 25th July. T's and C's apply.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's the middle of the week and we've got the perfect recipe to warm up the belly. Now, you may have been following the recent Olive Pride Chef's tour, and this next recipe is one from a city close to Chef Ruben Riffel's heart. Now, in Durban, where his master chef journey began, Chef Ruben spent some time with the local spice suppliers who gave him a few pointers on how to perfect his oven-baked lamb biryani. And today, we're sharing this recipe with you, Mzansi, so that you can perfect that midweek dinner. And Chef Food is here in the building to show us how it's done. How are you doing this morning, brother?
Yeah, I'm alright. And how are you doing,
Fantastic, man. The last time I cooked with you, I was pleasantly surprised by how darn good it was, man. So I know this is going to be just like that. And we've got lots and lots of ingredients here. So we need to get busy, right?
Yes, we need to get busy.
What's the game plan?
Biryani, which is very simple and easy. And then what I'm doing now, I'm just going to quickly fry my mince. And then after that, I'm going to just add my garam masala. With garam masala in there.
Garam masala.
Yeah,
that's like
curry,
your ingredients.
But I use the normal, like not hot, mild, and then curry leaves also. Just gonna that, and then we're gonna have the garlic, and then the ginger. But now, you know what I need to do with the garlic?
What is that?
Instead of slicing it or chopping it, you just smash it, just like that.
Whoa. All right, well, there's your morning workout for you.
Yes, and then put it there, and then all the flavors gonna be in there.
And I need to learn that because you just saved like quite a bit of time on that.
Yes.
Nice.
You don't need to like chop it or what you call?
chop it,
Slice it.
desicate, or
No,
slice it.
man.
Nah, Chef Foodie knows the business.
No.
This is how we
and
do.
then from there, we're gonna add our spices. Like I said, we've got the garam masala in there. We've got the medium curry powder. Also, we've got the curry leaves.
Which is keeping it nice and authentic. I love that, man.
Oh, just put everything in there. Just give it a little stir. You know what I love about this dish?
Yeah, what's that?
It's so warmy, man.
It's warm, and I mean, just on top of that, you haven't even finished the dish, and it smells so good already. I'm getting the spices, I'm getting that
Aromas,
umami feel and that
yes.
warmth, and I cannot wait for the rest of this. So,
But I'm just gonna quickly add a little bit of the...
of course you do, the olive pride, which is something fantastic, and it's the perfect pride blend, of course. Now, it's highly recommended for hot applications, such as frying, maybe grilling, stewing, or baking. I mean, the list goes on. There's so much to choose from, but the best part about it is that it has a high smoking point, which maintains this olive flavor that you get with most of your meals. And Olive Clover Pride is endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. So there are so many versions and ways to make a biryani. And if you're worried about your cooking skills, then don't stress, don't worry. You can simply follow these delicious recipe instructions that Chef Funia are going to deliver for you right now. And we're about halfway into making this already, right?
Oh, we're getting there. Okay, now I'm gonna add my stock. You can use chicken stock.
Okay.
Yeah, vegetable stock.
You've got chicken in there, eh?
Yeah, but
it's a
now
nice mixture of
coconut
some
milk
lamb.
is so good. Eh? It gives that.
Ooh, so this is going to give some of that creaminess,
Oh,
I'd
you're gonna
imagine,
enjoy
balancing
it.
this out.
Instead,
Not
like
a lot of
cream,
people are
actually,
cooking
yeah.
with this, but I love it. I think it's something that's not used enough. It's such a healthy alternative too, man.
Yeah, but also if you don't, you can still use double the stock. You
Okay.
see, it's still gonna come out
okay,
all right.
okay.
You can just double the
Nice.
stock. Also, we've got our basmati rice, which has already been soaked. Do you know why we soak it?
What's the reason for that?
So that it swallows the water. By the time you cook it, it's just gonna be quick and easy. It's like, remember when we're cooking beans?
Yes.
Where we
yes,
said we
yes,
soak
yes,
that?
yes.
Yes. Now, if you soak your rice, it's gonna just cook so quick, and then that's how
Another
it
nice tip, saving
Then
some
just
time
give it
at
a
the
little
same
bit
time.
stir, and I'm gonna cover that, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven. Before then, I'm just gonna add my butter on top, and then just gonna create that nice layer.
Yes.
Perfect.
That little final ingredient. Now this goes, where does this carry on cooking? Does this go in the oven? Or?
It's gonna go in the oven, 175 degrees Celsius, 30 minutes, it will be fine. Then, while it's in the oven, you need to start making the vegetable.
Yeah, I've been tasked with an ordeal over here. There's lots of flavors, lots of variety, so I'm going to get straight into it. So I believe, you need to help me out here just in case I get it wrong, but I've got some mushrooms that I'm going to add to the bowl, step one. Then we've got some cauliflower, step two. We've got some red onion that always turns into a nice sweetness after it gets cold, which I absolutely love. Some sultanas as well. I'm sure that's going to add more sweetness to it. This looks like lemon, but it's a bit different. What's happened to this?
Preserved.
Ah,
Preserved
all right.
lemon,
Okay,
yes.
very, very nice. And then some more of the intricacies. So it looks like we've got...
The saffron. You know saffron is very expensive, eh?
I see, so is that
It's
why
the
we're
most
using such a little bit of it?
expensive spice ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why there's such a little bit of it?
Yes, because they had to pick, you know.
All right, so saffron's going in, and then we've got some, this is cumin seed?
Cumin, yes.
Oh, nailing it over here. I don't know what this
cardamom.
is. Cardamom.
Yes, but you know what you can
wow,
do?
I've
You
never
can
seen it
also
in that
crush
form.
them, toast them. You can toast that and then crush them or mill them and then add them. So good,
Nice.
eh?
A little bit of a
That's
licorice
that.
here. This is fennel, right?
You come from the Cape Town.
Nice. Turmeric
And then
in there,
turmeric.
some cinnamon, and of course these
Perfect.
recipe ingredients can be found on expressoshow.com. What I'm going to do right now is use my hero ingredients to kind of just drizzle some of the oil on top of this. Ooh, I'm just going to open it first. That'll help. Oh, it's a toughie, this one.
Okay, I can help you.
Please do, chef. I clearly didn't work. I worked out too hard this morning, and now my hands are tired. Now I can't do it anymore.
Okay, no, I understand. But I think my hands are also a little
Don't worry,
bit...
let me grab down the bottle over there for the sake of time. So just a quick drizzle of some oil on top of that.
Yeah, it still can work because it's the same. You know, this is just olive oil and the other one is just a blend. Yeah.
Nice, and then mix it all up, put it in a little baking tray, and voila.
A nice layer.
There we have that nice layer, and then I've got another beautiful mix of some extra
Just
spices.
drizzle on top.
Drizzling that
Yes,
on
the
top.
one that we just...
And then that goes in the oven with the rest of the lamb, right? Simple as that, done.
We're done.
Done and dusted. How quick was that? Myself and Chef Funi showing you how to do one of the perfect midweek meals. It's a biryani made from lamb, and it tastes and smells so, so delicious. And you can get the recipe on expressoshow.com. Well played, man.
Made with love by Clover.
Thank you, Ral. It's 8:08. Let's take a final look at your headlines, starting with national news. The Tyre Equipment Parts Association has urged tyre dealers and workshops to refuse fitting tyres without a valid proof of purchase. This comes after warehouses and dealers were looted of tyres during violent protests in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng last week. The association's national director, Hedley Judd, said where tyres or parts are provided without a valid proof of purchase, it suggests that the police be alerted to the fact immediately. He added that losses were likely to lead to a localized short-term shortage of stock. And meanwhile, the government has said all recovered stolen goods in both KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng would only be used as evidence in criminal cases where suspects appear in court on charges of theft and looting. The acting minister in the presidency, Kumbutso Mtsoveni, said all recovered goods would afterwards be destroyed as its resale would negatively affect the economy. Looters were urged to return stolen goods. And moving to news abroad, reports from France say President Emmanuel Macron was targeted for phone tapping by the Moroccan secret services using Israeli-made Pegasus spyware. The campaign groups Forbidden Stories and Amnesty International say Rabat had identified a mobile phone Macron had been using since 2017. Several ministers were also allegedly earmarked. Their numbers were among 50,000 supposedly listed for possible tapping. The makers of Pegasus said, however, the equipment was sold only to vetted governments to combat crime and terrorism. And staying with news abroad, China yesterday unveiled the fastest ground vehicle in the world, a maglev train capable of reaching 600 kilometers per hour. It made its public debut in the coastal city of Qingdao in China's Shandong province. The maglev train uses electromagnetic force to levitate above the track with no contact between body and rail. Although China has been using the technology for some 20 years, it's only on a very limited scale. It would only take 2.5 hours to travel from Beijing to Shanghai, a journey which is currently 3 hours by plane. And next, the University of Witwatersrand boasts a major first. In a first for Witwatersrand University, a PhD student has graduated with a joint degree from the institution as well as the University of Turin in Italy, while reigning Miss South Africa, Sudufatso Musida, bagged an honoris degree in international relations. PhD student Silvia Del Santo graduated in the field of physics at the two institutions. Because of strict COVID lockdown regulations, the WITS graduation ceremony took place virtually. Shudo, as our Miss SA is known, took to Instagram after the ceremony saying, and I quote, "After my virtual graduation today, I had an interview opportunity with Vice Chancellor Zeblon Vilakazi, and of course I went in my grad attire. This pandemic has led to trying times and uncertainty for everyone. To all students who persevered, Mbambili, congratulations class of 2020. And before enrolling at WITS, the 24-year-old beauty queen studied at Pretoria University, where she earned a Bachelor of Science degree in philosophy, politics, and economics. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a final look at your sport with Graham.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Let's start with rugby news this morning. And in firm focus, of course, the Springbok team. And Springbok coach Jacques Nienaber has named his team for the first test against the British and Irish Lions. That'll be playing out at the Cape Town Stadium this coming Saturday. Rugby World Cup winning captain Siya Kolisi is back. He will lead the Boks after recovering from COVID-19. Then fly off Handré Pollard is also back in the fold, and he's been named as vice captain, in fact, and will earn his 50th international cap for South Africa when he takes to the field. Then following on from that, South African rugby and the British and Irish Lions yesterday confirmed that the Lions series will conclude in the mother city. So the second and third tests were originally scheduled to take place at the F&B Stadium in Johannesburg, but will now remain in Cape Town. And this decision was made following extensive consultation with medical experts on the risks associated with the Delta variant of the coronavirus. Now, the Olympics dominating the remainder of our stories. Let's start with the South African connection. The Springbok Sevens team finally had their first outdoor training session in Japan more than a week after arriving in the country. The Blitzboks faced a number of setbacks since arriving for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, but have now been cleared by authorities to return to the field. The team underwent 2 separate isolation periods in Tokyo and Kagoshima, and of course head coach Neil Powell tested positive for COVID-19 and will miss the Rugby Sevens Olympics tournament, but does remain in touch with the squad via virtual coaching sessions. Then, staying with Olympic news, Olympic dressage rider Tanya Seymour's dream of competing at the Tokyo Olympics has come to an end before it even started. Her horse Ramonir suffered a debilitating case of laminitis, which resulted in swelling and inflammation of the hoof. Now, Seymour made equestrian history at the 2016 Olympics in Rio, when she became the first dressage rider to represent South Africa at the Games. But with Ramonir ruled out, the 37-year-old Seymour will not compete at this year's Olympics. And then finally, rounding off our Olympic watch, 6 swimmers from Team Poland have been sent home from the Tokyo Olympics after too many were selected by mistake. Now, Poland initially chose 23 athletes but had to cut the number to 17 based on the world governing body FINA's qualifying rules. President of Polish Swimming's Federation, Paweł Slominski, expressed great regret, sadness and bitterness about the situation as he apologized for the gross mistake. Well, that's a wrap of your sport for this Wednesday morning. Let's get one last take on the weather.
Let's do that. And starting off in the Western Cape, the cold temperatures in most of the Western Cape are expected to last into the coming weekend, says the SA Weather Service. Cold weather swept across the province on Monday afternoon, bringing with it rain, but the next forecasted cold front is expected to make landfall today. In fact, it has already. It will bring disruptive rainfall, strong winds and very cold conditions. Cape Town emergency personnel are on standby as further downpours could result in isolated flooding. Eskom yesterday urged customers in the Western and Eastern Cape to remain patient as extreme weather threatens the network. An increase in faults due to inclement weather is expected and could affect electricity supply in some areas. Eskom said it would prioritize its response based on the size and duration of the faults. Now, we can't forget about our international viewers that tune in via YouTube as well as the Africa Channel 2, and we're giving a little highlight of Casablanca, the largest city in Morocco. Now, Casablanca is Morocco's chief port and one of the largest financial centers in Africa. This bustling city is Morocco's business powerhouse and industrial center. Casablanca is the main gateway to Morocco and most visitors' first taste of the country, as it is home to the primary international airport. Casablanca has a hot summer Mediterranean climate with an average of 72 days of precipitation annually. Today the city has sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant conditions forecast with a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. Now, thank you to all of our viewers, local and international, that has taken the time to capture and share their sunrise photos with us, starting off with Amira Barman from Gqeberha, who shared this beautiful shot that has orange and yellow hues melting into one another as the sky transitions. Absolutely gorgeous. Andre Niemann from Doorn Bay shared this great photo taken capturing the glowing sky as the sun rises over this picturesque beach house. And of course, 7 a.m. Henry van Wyk from Pietermaritzburg sent through this early morning shot as the sun begins to rise, casting its rays through the trees. And last but not least, Ntumeleng Jerry from Bloemfontein captured the stunning photo as the sun rises in the distant horizon. We have included some virtual and international travel, or should I say virtual international travel, on the show, and this is every single Friday, and this Friday is no different. So we head to the UK, and if you have any pictures of you in the UK, maybe you visited there, perhaps you got some family who could send some pictures along, we'd love to see that on the Expresso Facebook page and featured on the show this coming Friday as we head to the UK. Let's head back to our local shores and give you the temperatures that you can expect today. And starting off in Polokwane, as always, 5 is your minimum, 21 is the max in your area. Bombela, quite hot today, 30 degrees Celsius is the maximum from a low of 10. Pretoria, 3 to 21. Johannesburg, 0 to 17. Mahikeng, quite chilly, -2, rising to 19. Klerksdorp, -3 for you. 16 is your maximum. Kimberley, a minimum of -3 to a maximum of 13. Bloemfontein, -5. Please stay warm, 13 the max. Richards Bay, 12 to 20. Pietermaritzburg, 2 to 19. Durban, you start at 10 this morning, up to 19 later. Mthatha, Foreisetata 2 to 17. East London 7 is your start, 19 in the afternoon. Cradock -2 to 15. Gqeberha 6 to 18 with a 55% chance of rain. George, 73% chance of rain for you, 4 to 15. Cape Town, a 76% chance if it's not raining already. 8 is the minimum to a maximum of 13. Worcester 0, you're up to 8 later, 63% chance of precipitation. Sutherland -6, the coldest spot in the land today. 2 is your maximum and a 66% chance of snow in your area. Then Uppington -2 and you're up to 14 a little bit later. That's a wrap of the weather news as well as the temperatures for the morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And if you've got those sunrise photos as well as pics of the UK, please send it our way on the Expresso Facebook page.
Oh, thank you, Wasty. Well, listen, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast Show for this final hour, we are talking movies with the one and only JP Sebastian. He'll be joining us virtually.
And of course, we've got some warm bowls of nutrition coming up at your culinary hotline bling. Ching, ching, ching. We'll see you soon.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Yep, you know that rock star intro means only one thing. JP Sebastian is here to take us through some of the movie trailers, the latest releases or impending releases that have got him really excited. Mr. Sebastian, a very good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm feeling tiny, as always, on this camera phone.
You look large.
I need you to do me an air ukulele to that intro from now on. No longer like large flying V electric guitar. Yes.
Okay.
Little panpipe.
And I'll do an air pan piping. I like that. Buddy, well, you look large and in charge in our studio and really excited about the list of movies that we know very little about. So I'm hoping you're going to fill us in. Let's start with Tatina. Is that right? Are all of these animated films, by the way?
Yes, so for this segment, I chose for all of them to be animated. And of course, these are trailers that recently came out. It's not just me randomly clicking and bucking. So these are ones that sort of made my heart soar, made me very interested, piqued my interest, and I hope that I can do the same for you. The pronunciation would be Titina. I had to look that up very carefully. Didn't want to fall into any dangerous traps. But it is a true story, and it is gorgeous. Wow. Let's just say that. Look at this. Like, usually with the temptation with animation is you're dealing with any way to make the world more colorful and do whatever you like with the geometry and the most particular and detailed ways you like. But there are like 3 colors on the screen right now, and still it is like this transporting kind of feel. The little dog, by the way, like I said, from the true story, is Titina. Started its life out. I didn't want to misgender a dog there. I was that conscious of it. Don't know if it's a boy or a girl or in between.
We're gender fluid.
Titina started life out on the streets of Italy, and it was a poor little street dog, and then was rescued by a guy who builds airships, and he built airships for Roald Amundsen. You might know that name. It's the person who was the first human to the North Pole that we know of.
Oh, wow.
And Italian airship designer just formed this bond for life. Umberto Nobile is his name, with Titina. And Titina is this chonk of a dog, clearly not made for the kind of climate that the dog was being sent out to with her masters and with her friends, his friends, or who knows. But absolutely beautiful to look at. Norwegian animation, it's not often we get those, but from the same people who made, please do yourselves a favor and watch their previous works, The Triplets of Balbal and The Secret of the Culls. Absolutely beautiful
Secret of the
animation, no
Culls.
dating names yet.
It looks enchanting from a character perspective and from, as you say, just the graphic representation looks absolutely beautiful, like an artwork come to life. We love that. Talk me through Crypto Zoo. Wow.
Ooh, okay.
Where do we begin?
Also animation. But so another movie that sort of wrapped me instantly and made me think, well, not that I've seen it, but I'm just saying from the trailer, that I would, there's some movies where you just want to lay back and let the movie happen to you. It is over the top, overstimulating, the amount of, like, I was just talking about, like, the temptation to use all the color and geometry you like, that you have available to you in animation, and this movie seems to spare no color in the spectrum. The story is of these people who are cryptozoologists, and they try to rescue these mythical creatures all around the world, specifically looking for one called the baka. I don't know which culture that's from, but in its mythology, eats people's dreams. There's a gorgon as well, giving the works to what looks like immigration agents. Kick to the
bam,
and
reverse kick to the groin. Nice.
Question for the card.
Yes. Not everything can be cute and sweet like Titina. Sometimes you deserve a kick in the Titinas. So Crypto Zoo features very, very interesting voices. We've got Michael Cera in there as well, who's been sort of a sleeper for a bit now, and Zoe Kazan and a bunch of other people. But it's one of these things that, I mean, it looks like a Led Zeppelin album cover for a start.
Yeah, somewhere between like Monty Python and Led Zeppelin. It's...
Yeah. Or if you ever remember, because all of these actually, while they're all animations, they're all about outsiders in a way. And if you ever had that outsider friend in school who used to do those amazing drawings in their school book, no one ever knew what they were thinking. Then the creator of this animation is clearly one of those amazing minds who brings to life this thing that is all hand-drawn, all hand-cut and collaged, just incredible stuff.
It looks amazing, but I'm overstimulated already, so let's get on to our last one. We've got just about 40 seconds to get into Turning Red. Please, can I read the little blurb here? It says it's about a 13-year-old girl that turns into a giant red panda when she gets excited.
Show's over.
Show's over. Done. That sounds so cool.
The quadratic. And it actually reminds me of, not that I'm a dad or a parent or anything, but I've seen the way some people handle, say, kids who are dealing with, say, anxiety issues or anything like that, that you tell them that it's this friend inside. It's not you who's having the anxiety attack. It's just part of who you are, but it's not you yourself. So maybe it could be useful for the kids in that way, but this looks absolutely adorable. I don't know if you remember, before Pixar's Incredibles 2, there was a short movie called Bao. And Bao won the Oscar for short, and this is the same director, Domi Shi. She gets a feature-length film from Pixar, and no doubt can have all that Pixar you want. All the cuddly, fuzzy feelies and all the weepies, but mostly looks like cute fun. This is dated for 2022, if that's even a year. I don't know which year we're in right now. March next year.
Keep talking until she turns into a giant red panda. It's going to happen now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Apparently, she is dealing with a mom who is clearly heavy-handed, but never as heavy-handed as a giant red panda, which the poor little deer turns into. Much to her embarrassment, decides to flee from class. They are the great names, Disney and Pixar.
And it's not
Pixar
a red panda bear. It's a red panda. It really is a red panda. Oh, that's awesome, man. It's a beast.
Outside, she can't even be the chill, classic black and white panda. She has to be one of these rare little outsiders, and like I said, maybe great for the kids who feel like they're alone in the world, where they don't know why they get these feelings welling up and they don't have to deal with all the anxiety of the world. Turning Red might be a little.
I think we all have a little bit. We all have a little red panda in us, my friend. That's awesome. 3 beautiful films. Thank you for making that selection for us. They all look gorgeous, absolutely stunning. We look forward to your next batch coming up a little bit later, Mr. JP Sebastian. Stick around and stay as big as you are, and we're going to continue with our new movie releases in just a moment.
Oh, well, listen, from movies with JP Sebastian, it's time for us to whip up a classic in the kitchen.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy, the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, I don't know anyone who could possibly resist the lure of a warm homemade pie. Now, we can all say this one thing, that one slice of our Clover Classic chicken mayo pie will definitely not be enough. That's why we have Chef Fumi in studio, who's going to show us how it all comes together so that there is enough for everyone to enjoy. Chef Fumi, I'm very excited to be cooking with you today.
Oh, I'm so happy too, hey?
Thank you. And you know what? A chicken pie is one of my favorites. I need to tell you this. So whenever my mom comes to visit, she will make a chicken pie, but she'll make extra filling so that I can freeze the filling, and whenever I miss her, I can make my own little pie by just defrosting the filling and then popping it into the oven.
I love your mother. And then just maybe take out from the freezer and then just egg wash it straight to the oven.
That's what I do, but I'm excited to see what you're going to get cooking here for us today.
Okay. Mine is very, very simple. What you do, you're just gonna take the onion and then your onion, just quickly fry your onion.
There we go.
A little bit, and then just to saute it. Plus minus 2 to 3 minutes. You just want to
get it nice and see-through. Is chicken pie something you cook often?
Actually, I started eating chicken pie, I think, when I was already at varsity.
Okay.
Because I was lazy to cook. You know, remember when you start at varsity? And then I'm like, oh, I think I love it. And then that's why I started eating chicken pie.
You know what? Like you said, it is the thing to do
And
when
I'm
you're a
gonna
little
add
bit
my garlic.
lazy.
Yes.
There we go. So this is ideal for families. You can feed large amounts of people. And this is something you can make in advance. Just don't add your pastry. And you do some meal prep ahead, especially if you know you're going to have a busy work week ahead.
You see? And also, if you stay alone, for example, like you said, you still can, or if you've got young kids, what you can do, you can just make the mini pies.
Oh, mini ones, yes.
Yes. Because really, I don't want the big one. You can just make a mini pies, and then, yeah.
There we go.
Okay,
Everyone's got their own little pie.
Now, you know what we're doing here now? I'm going to add the flour in here, ne? And then I'm going to keep stirring it because it's like making a roux. I don't know if you ever heard of a roux.
Yes, I love a good roux.
That's what I'm going to be doing there.
There we go. So with this, obviously you've got your onions in there. We've got our garlic powder. Can I put it on for you?
Yes.
There we go.
Just
We're going to get some nice
so that
heat
it
going.
quickly is.
Fantastic. Awesome.
What do you say?
Oh no, I'm just recapping on the ingredients. So you've got your onions in there. You've got your garlic. We've added our our flour to create that bit of a roux, and now you're adding.
I'm adding the stock, chicken stock. Oh, and then keep stirring so that it mustn't have lumps, eh?
There we go. I'm loving them.
And then also, you know what the flour is going to do? It's going to thicken the mixture while we're adding our shredded chicken. Oh, that's going to be so good. You can see it's becoming thick now.
Yes. I want to ask you about the shredded chicken.
Now, you know what? Other people before then, you can still add your mushroom, but I don't like my mushroom to be like fried. But you can, if you want to, you can just fry your mushrooms and then...
You can also add that to the pot.
It's just like meat.
Yeah, oh, so you wanted to like have a little bit more of a texture to it.
Like meaty flavor.
Okay, okay. Wanted to ask you, with regards to your chicken, you naturally want to cook the chicken on the bone? Or because chicken breasts don't have that much flavor compared to having pieces that's on the bone.
Okay, you know the trick is if you cook chicken on the bone, it gets more heat. It attracts more heat and it will cook quicker.
Okay.
And most people don't believe that, but now the heat is like it keeps it. It's like the meat on the bone, even a steak on the bone. It keeps that heat.
Okay.
Now, when you cook the chicken without the bones, that's why sometimes it might even becomes...
Like dry and like
becomes
stringy.
dry and stringy.
Yes.
But if you look at this chicken, we cook it on the bone, and that's why it's like this. Now you can taste it. It's going to be so delicious. And I'm going to just wait a little bit, and then I'm going to add my chicken. Before that is what that's cooking, what I want you to do...
Okay, put me to work.
Do you want a closed pie or a...
Open pie. What is it? Let's do a closed pie. What's the difference?
Pie.
Okay.
Okay, now for the closed pie, it's very simple and easy. This dish, you're just gonna cut in half, put one layer, and then I'm gonna bring the filling. We put the filling on top, and then from there, the filling in the middle, and then we're gonna finish it. Yeah. We're gonna have
Okay, so we're adding a layer of pastry to the bottom.
Okay. Yes, because we said we wanted
a closed pie. I'm making life difficult
not
for
an
you.
open pie.
And then okay, so do you have to blind bake the bottom?
Not really.
Okay.
You don't have to blind bake it.
There we go.
Because at home, if you want, oh, you're so good, hey?
I'm trying. Thank you, Funi. There we go.
Perfect.
Do I cut it out?
No, you don't have to cut it out.
We
You know
leave
what
it
we're gonna
rustic.
do? You can maybe roll this one also the other way around, so that when we put our filling, we're just gonna put our filling overlapping.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, so once we've got our filling in, naturally we want to make sure it is cooled down, because this is
But
something...
now, the trick is, you can see I didn't add my chicken because it's already been cooked. Now, this is already done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add the chicken in there. At least the heat won't be that high, and then we can just put it there. But at home, yes, you can cool it a little bit, and then, yeah, add your...
Fantastic. Now, I wanted to ask from you, because we are running out of time, Chef. We have our Clover Classic, and we're using the number 1. There are 3 different, numbers for the different tanginess. 1 being mild, 2 being medium, and of course 3 gives you that really tangy mayo flavor. When do we add our mayo? Because we are making a chicken mayo pie.
Yes, that's what I was saying. For us now, what we can do, we can now a little bit cool, because we don't want our mayo not to... Now we just a little bit when it's cool, that's when we're gonna add our mayo.
Okay.
We can add...
So once our batter cools down, we're gonna add our tangy mayo.
But not cool, because you want the mayo to...
kind of melt a little bit and really blend well.
Yes, like now you can add at least 2/3 of a cup.
There
add
we
a
go.
little bit more.
A little bit more.
Oh,
fantastic.
It looks so good.
Oh. Well, Chef Funi, I'm loving what we're doing. I know we've run out of time, but this is what our finished product will look like. We do have this recipe available for you. You can find it on our website. That's expressoshow.com. And if you've missed any of the steps to this delicious pie, we've got those steps for you.
Made with love by Clover.
My feel-good breakfast show.
That's me rocking out with pan pots. Yes, JP Sebastian is back. I did it, man. I did it just for you. If the first selection of movie trailers you brought us were warm and fuzzy and beautiful, the next 2 that you have chosen seem completely disturbing, my friend. Talk me through John and the Hole.
Yeah, it seems like no one's paying anyone to write movie titles, are they? By the way, it looks like you're playing a milli when you do the panpipes. Work on that, please, by the next time. Panpipes. I want you to look like Frodo. So, John in the Hole, however, is, like you said, all of this stuff is dark. None of it's fuzzy.
Yeah.
No big red pandas. That all about people on the edge. So, hey, for anyone in lockdown who can relate to this, it's about a young boy who locks his entire family in a hole.
Whoa.
That's pretty much the title sums it up. You probably already saw there the guy from Dexter, Martin C. Hall, Jennifer L. Last Dead. Do you watch Dexter? Because I've never seen it. Do you enjoy it?
I haven't seen Dexter. No, I'm just talking about John C. Hall. Is absolutely brilliant.
Aha. And Taissa Farmiga is in there as well, from the Farmiga family, who have their own freakiness, fantastic actresses. Vera Farmiga, obviously from the Conjuring and all that kind of business. But let's talk about this movie. The young boy asks a question, because kids do, the very hard questions of their parents. How do I know when I'm an adult? Like, what is the leap psychologically? So he's in this phase where, sometimes teenage boys go very quiet and they get weirder. I did this too. I was unapproachable for a long time. I didn't have a hole or the arm strength to dig one. And he decides, I suppose, to break from his family in a way by capturing them in this bunker that was half built in his backyard. We don't know how he does it yet, but everything looks dark and spooky as heck. No date for it in SA just yet, but please don't get any ideas while you're in lockdown. Please play nice with your family and maybe watch a good horror movie with them too. John and the Hole, maybe it's your thing. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it looks thoroughly disturbing, but quite compelling as well. Naked Singularity. I had to say it twice and stumble over my words because it just seems so cool. But this has got a great cast, headlined by John Boyega. We love this young man.
Love him so much, but we didn't need to use all of those words. You could have said John Boyega with a katana on the poster.
Exactly, exactly.
So I'm glad to see him back. Obviously, very interesting times that he went through after the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter protests, where directors were getting behind him and saying, if Hollywood wants to chuck you out, we will get your back and we'll get you back in movies. Truly, it looks like in Naked Singularity, the guy is really coming into his own. Star Wars, I think, really shoved him in too much of a corner about the type of character they wanted him to be. And while that worked there, he really looks like he's spreading his wings here. Just in this trailer, I've not seen the whole movie myself. He really looks a lot more dynamic than what we used to as John Boyega. Such a talented guy. And in this story, he plays a public defender, which is not a job anyone asks for. Man, it's a difficult job. And in the US justice system of all things, woohoo, after all these protests, I think you know what I'm talking about. So people on the edge, like John in the Hole, John Boyega's in the Hole too. And the Naked Singularity, by the way, for your nerdy mind, Graham, because you're into these types of things, astrophysics. Singularity is the little crushing, the dense piece of matter at the center of a black hole.
Yeah.
Naked Singularity that is not consumed by a black hole and free to do what it wants. So he has to break free of the justice system that stops him from being as idealistic and saving lives the way he wants to, and do things maybe on the outside of the black hole the dirty way. So actually tries to take up a crime of one of his own clients, where he can make a lot of money to possibly help other people in the future. Yes, John Boyega with the katana. That's how it starts.
Yeah, man, I can't actually move past the katana blade. I think that's actually made the whole entire movie for me, but can't wait to see this young actor really display what he can do, kind of, really see his chops out there. It looks really cool. And I also like the fact that they seem to have captured the period piece element of it really well as well. Looks great. Both of these movies, as unsettling as they are, look very compelling, which is exactly what we want. And I can understand why you chose them for us. Buddy, thank you so much. You've given us 5 beautiful, amazing, and compelling movies today. You have done a 5-star job. I'm going to play you out with a panpipe solo.
You better.
Oh, you got it.
This is wakizashi. But we can, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Panpipes, Graham, next week.
Oh, man, I'm going to bring a katana in next week. JP Sebastian.
The summer love you need, especially in this weather. In fact, that's the name of the single, produced by Jaden Lewis. Here he is on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Stuck inside my mind. No point in bothering or to pretend I'm deaf into being more than just friends. Low-key hoping to get you on your own. Not about to try and take you home. it goes. You know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. No point in rushing something that's alright. Just try to be the one to treat you right. Baby, we got more than enough time. One day hoping to call you mine. Low-key hoping to get you on your own. Not about to try and take you home. Now you're just someone I'd like to get to know. Take things slow and just see how it goes. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Take things slow and just see how it goes. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Yeah, you know how it goes. You know, yeah, you know how it goes. Thank you. That's Summer Love by Jaden Lewis.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, you beautiful souls. We're still live right here on your Feel Good opening up with S3. And we've got another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting! I love this time in the morning. Now we're joined by Chef Clem to help us out on those sticky food situations, those culinary conundrums. And if you need help in the kitchen, then give him a call right now. I'm going to be his assistant on the phone. And you can dial that number 021 110 5552. Now, Chef Clem, today's a special day, of course, and today's a tricky day because we also have a very special culinary hotline lined up. Now, some parts of South Africa, if you are not aware, are currently struggling to get basic staple food items or having to make their meals and really stretch the food out for their families and their communities. So Chef Clem has got the perfect and the absolutely incredible, great budget-friendly recipe that you could easily make or even donate. So Chef Clem, perfect stuff, man. Considering what the country or parts of the country are going through right now, this is such a great idea. I love how you're coming through with this, and I think Mzansi is going to purely love you for this, especially parts of KZN and Gauteng as well.
Absolutely.
So how are we doing this, man?
So these are budget-friendly recipes, but are also, just by chance, they end up being comfort foods.
Yeah.
Because our moms are smart like that. We do a lot of people to like feed. Moms have like these amazing little hacks of how to get a lot out of like not a lot.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to start with. But actually, before we... Okay, no,
I'm just saying, it's on that note, though, it's just so crazy that your day can be going so badly, everything can go wrong. You go home to, like, a home-cooked meal that's made with love. That just changes your entire mindset. That just changes the entire day.
That is
and
so
that
true.
is what we're doing right now.
So
it sounds
true.
like.
So when else did you bake a bread?
A bread?
Yeah.
Whoa, like I tried that banana bread vibe in the lockdown of the start.
Oh, it's been that
I was
long.
one of those
Okay,
guys.
well, today you're gonna make one. You've got some lemon juice on the side there.
Okay.
Can I ask you to pour that lemon juice in the milk, and we'll come back to it in a bit.
And that's the milk, right?
That's the milk.
Just to make sure.
You know
right?
what? It's always good to check. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about mince. Mince is amazing because you're able to make a little bit of mince go a long way when you actually add things to it or you use it in a smart way. I love, and I'm obsessed, Oma onder de komberse. You know about that?
No.
Well, can you translate that to English?
Your Ma's under the kitchen?
It means, that's Carl laughing so far in the distance. It means granny under the blankets. Okay, and I think it's got a few other names. But I love it because it uses cabbage. Your granny's under the okay, so it uses cabbage, which is one of the most inexpensive things. Like you get a big head of cabbage for like 10 rand. So you got to be smart about that. Cabbage is great. Use it for coleslaws. You use it for so many different things.
You can use it for like a wrap alternative.
We're using it as a wrap today.
Oh, we?
Yes.
Ah, okay,
so,
one step ahead.
You take this cabbage leaf and you pop in a little bit of steaming water, a little bit of salt, until it goes soft and pliable, so we can actually use it as a wrap now.
And it doesn't just like tear and crunch up.
It doesn't just tear and crunch
there
up.
we
So,
go.
super simple. We're going to use some mince, okay? And to that, we're going to add some flavor. People are very scared when they season mince. They like a little bit of salt, just like that. But if you think, when we season steak, you have to season it liberally, okay? So it's that and a little bit extra. Cool.
Just a little
bit extra. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Because my other trick was, if you're scared about using salt, use things like this barbecue rub, okay? It's got a bit of salt in there already. So
you don't actually need anything, you just need that?
No. And this is great because it's got so many flavors, so you're not using a million other things to get those flavors. You're just using that barbecue rub kit or barbecue spice. That's the cheats we learned. Okay, so get a bit of that in there, and that's great.
And Ma under the kitchen wouldn't even worry about this either.
Ma under the kitchen,
she approves.
so happy. That's
you approve, right, Ma?
Ma?
You're good.
Ma's fine. Okay, then we're going to go in with some grated onion. The moisture from the onion actually going to tenderize the meat even more, and it keeps it a little more moist. I'm trying to be neat to that because we've got a lot going on in this kitchen right now.
Yeah, there's colors, there's flavors, there's so much going on, but this is looking good already.
So mint goes in, and parsley goes in.
And parsley.
It's whatever you are, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be growing some, even if you have an apartment, you should be able to grow some herbs. You know, Woolies who buy those pot plants. Feed it twice a week. I mean, that's all you got to do.
All low maintenance.
You had a Tamagotchi back in the day. You know how to keep a plant alive. So that's all you got to do. And take from those herbs and put it in there. It's whatever you have. Coriander, some rosemary, thyme, whatever. Just put it in there.
And that's where you can get creative and add your own little spices of life or whatever your favorites are too, I would imagine.
Add chili. What flavors are you into right now?
Me, I like I don't know if I'm saying it right, oregano.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like the sort of herbiness coming through from that now. Aniseed for me, I think it's got like this sort of, I think it's like a licorice sort of.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
why.
licorice
I'm weird,
flavors?
but winter, I'm craving those warmths, and I think that's just kind of ticking that box for me at the moment. But of course, something like cinnamon is always giving me that umami feel, that winter vibe, you know?
I like it, I like it.
Those are kind of my favorites at the moment. How are you doing over there?
So any of those things that you just mentioned now, that's what you put into your mince.
Chuck it in.
You're feeling.
Okay.
And that's going to season your mince. You don't need to do breadcrumbs. You don't need to do breadcrumbs. Just keep it just like this. Then what you got to do, here's your Oma. She's fine. She's here now.
Good, okay.
Here's your Oma, okay? Get it under the blanket. Pull up the sides.
All right.
Nice and tight. How good are your rolling skills?
My rolling skills are superb.
Cool.
I'm one of the best rollers in the land.
Nice. So get your Oma in there. Make sure that the sides are tucked in as well. You don't want it to come out. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pack it tightly inside a oven dish, okay? Make sure that all the Omas are each other and they're quite like together because it's cold, you know? And then what we're going to do is, amazing hack. South Africa, you need to get onto this. This is tomato soup, right?
Mexican tomato and chipotle soup.
Chipotle soup, which has got that like smoky chili in there.
Yes.
It's a warm heat. It's not going to blow your head off.
So it's not like a Chef Clem kind of spice?
No.
It's a little
like
bit below that.
A little one below that, yeah.
Out of 10, you like a 15.
I love the heat. And again, if you want to make it spicier, add some extra chilies to it. But this is amazing. You spoke about umami. Tomatoes have umami. This is great. And as it cooks, it reduces.
Nice.
And you end up with this over here.
Whew, does that not look good? I've already dibs that, by the way. So everyone in studio, back off, all of you.
Tell them. So that happens. All you're going to do now is boil some rice or mashed potatoes, and people are happy, okay? Yeah. Next one, very quick. You've put that lemon in the milk.
Lemon in the
for me?
milk, yes, I did do that.
Let's give that a quick stir. Did I give you a spoon?
You didn't give me a spoon. Can I grab
I'm gonna
one
give you the
from
spoon.
Thank you very much, Chef Clem.
You're gonna work on that for me. So you're talking about comfort food. So yesterday, I was on the road all day, and I pulled out to my parents to go check up on them and pick up some deliveries.
Yeah.
And as I got out the car, I could smell what was going on. My mom was making soup.
Oh, you felt like you were back home, eh?
And after like the whole day of being on the road, the rain, the cold, the stress up and down, as soon as I opened the car door and I smelled it, I was just like zen, woosah. And you know, it's like the most amazing bowl of soup. And that's what soup does.
Yeah.
You just use ingredients, you use what you have, and like the feeling you get from it is just so amazing. So, first things first, so when oil goes in, nothing with soup is, it's not very complex in putting it all together. You just put it in.
Just put it in. Let them all dance. Let them all play around with each other. They absorb the flavors, that moisture, the texture. Everything comes together.
Comes together.
It's difficult to get a soup wrong, I'd imagine, right? Or maybe not.
Look, you are right. You have to be like really trying to get it wrong, okay? But yeah, exactly. Soups just come together. If you don't like the texture, you can blend things. If it's too thick, you can add more liquid to it. You can play around with it. So soups are very forgiving.
Continual work in progress. I love it.
Absolutely. And also, they use a lot of what's happening in your fridge that you want to kind of like clear out, make a soup. And then you can freeze it, which is also another great thing about soups. You can freeze them.
Goes a long way.
Okay. Onions went in, and then some salt went in. The salt draws out the moisture. The onions helps them soften a lot more. And the rule is whenever onions go into a pan, bay leaves go in.
Okay.
Your bay.
Yeah,
Think about it like that.
What's life without your bay?
Without your bay. That goes into the pot. Then your murapwa, which is your onions, celery.
Your murapwa.
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 What is
murapwa? Murapwa. So it's basically your three key principal vegetables that give you so much flavor. It's your onions, your carrots, your celery.
Okay.
If you start any soup, stew off like that, it's going to be delicious. It's going to be so good.
See you.
Think of them as the holy three when it comes to soups and stews.
I've been missing murapwas all my life.
You've been missing murapwa.
Thank goodness I'm out here on the culinary hotline getting all the tips that I need for this. Man, thank you, Clem.
Okay, so we're going to blend this one up later. Actually, no, let me just slice it up. We've got some garlic going in. We're not going to add meat. But if you do feel like you want a bit of a meaty kick, what I love is that you can get marrow bones.
Oh, yes.
And what I do is I roast them and then I put it into the soup and you get that meaty flavor without there really being meat in there. Yeah. And obviously marrow adds so much richness to your soup. So
I remember back in the day when you're speaking about budget, I know in certain butchers you can actually get something like meaty bones.
Yes.
It's almost like the offcuts of some of their prime cut meats. And
Absolutely.
then it really helps in just getting some of that meat flavor without breaking the bank. And it's something, when budget was tight at our house, meaty bones was the way to go, man. Yes.
Absolutely. And sometimes they even smoke it.
Yes.
And then you get even more flavor coming through. So, like I said, I'm not adding meat, but there's certain things I can add to it to give it that, like, meaty flavor, umami flavor. And the second I'm saying now, you get umami from tomatoes.
Yes.
Tomato paste. That's going to go in. And it's going to immediately just make it so much more richer and, like, add depth to it. Another one, rosemary. Rosemary makes meat taste meatier.
I was going to say exactly
So what
that,
will it do for veggies? It's going to add that complexity to it. That
so you're kind of getting some of the sensations, the flavors, and the taste, and everything you would do from meat without actually adding in the meat.
Without adding the meat.
I like that. That's
smart. And it's like
that is
budget
smart.
friendly. And this is we're being very like we're just playing on TV with this size pot. At home, if I'm making this, I'm making a big pot, and whatever's left over, well, actually I'm dishing up. The rest I cool down and freeze into bags. You will not believe how those come into, like, when you just get home and you need a meal, boom. Those in some boiling water and you're done. You're sorted, dinner sorted.
Brilliant. And
So
where do we round this one up, Clem?
Like I said, okay, butternut goes in. I just raided the fridge, found some potatoes, putting that in. That's gonna go in barley. Gonna swell, gonna bulk up. So that's getting in there. We're gonna add water, and that's gonna cook away. Very quickly, like 15 seconds. What you made earlier when you added lemon to the milk was buttermilk. Buttermilk, self-raising flour, egg, salt, mix it all together, makes a dough, pop it in there, you get a bread. 12 minutes.
Is that all it is for the bread? You've got the soup, you've got the voila, a warming, hearty winter meal. Chef Clem himself.
Can I drop the spatula? Can I drop
more of this recipe?
Can I drop the spatula?
Drop it. Boom! That's where you heard it first. Culinary Hotline Bling. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Chef Clem, for the winter warmer. And you heard it first here on Expresso.
Check on your Oma under the kitchen.
Oma, you good? She approves.
I've got presenters in the cupboards, you've got Omar's underneath in the cupboards in the kitchen. It's all got a little bit crazy, but let's get serious for a second here. Nespresso's reviving origins is about more than just coffee. Yes, there is great coffee involved, but it's more about the triumph in adversity, the recovery from catastrophe, rebuilding of coffee farming communities, and a rekindling of high-quality coffee that farmers can be proud to sell to markets across the globe.
That's right. Now take a look at how the program has made an impact in the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
In the early 1980s, coffee was DR Congo's second most important export, but years of internal conflict and economic instability virtually destroyed the industry. With damaged infrastructure and few businesses in the area, farmers often had to make the dangerous journey across Lake Kivu to Rwanda to find a market for their coffee.
We all know of the issues in Congo. We know that over 2 decades, Congo has had crisis in the east. We know that over 5 million people have lost their lives since World War II. Every child, 1 in 10 children, does not stand a chance to see their 10th birthday. At the heart of these issues are also the health challenges.
We're training farmers to increase the quality and yields of their coffee through climate-smart farming practices. We're also helping local processing businesses improve their processing and export activities. All these efforts aim to provide a long-term economic incentive for ongoing peace in the region. Nespresso is playing a key role by supporting these training activities and providing a profitable, reliable market for these farmers.
So we at ECI have co-created a solution called Asili. It's a social enterprise that provides quality healthcare and water solutions within communities at an affordable price. Nespresso is joining us on this journey. Our activities, our services serve 120,000 clients every single day. With the support of Nespresso, we want to raise that to 200,000. We hope to provide over 60 million of liters of water to Congolese communities. Now that's what I call investment for development.
Farmers are now seeing a real benefit to growing high-quality coffee that they can sell to buyers like Nespresso. With the payments Nespresso has already made, we're seeing farmers improve their lives in a way they weren't able to before.
But they are very aware that the coffee is produced by people, and these people belong to a community. So Nespresso is investing not just in the coffee that they are buying, but also investing in those communities so that the things that we build now will remain there for generations to come.
The farmers in Eastern Congo have taken great care to produce this coffee. They don't use any chemicals on their farm, and they carefully harvest their trees, only selecting the berries as they ripen. They carry their coffees to their cooperatives, where the beans are washed and slowly dried over 2 weeks to produce a perfectly clean bean that has retained all its natural flavors.
So when you drink your coffee from Congo, think about Congo, think about us.
Oh man, a taste of the Congo right there. Absolutely, that is actually exquisite. Now, it's incredible what a positive impact this program has had on these communities, and not just growing better coffee, but also providing to people's basic rights like clean drinking water. And I think that is massive.
That is massive. So when you're drinking your morning Hope of Congo coffee, you know that you are supporting others. Cheers.
It's good, eh?
Every time you brew a cup of Reviving Origins coffee,
you're restoring land, empowering farmers, and supporting livelihoods.
So every sip touches hundreds of lives.
And offers an inspiring taste experience in return.
welcome back. Your timing is very good. We are back on the stage one more time with the pop artist and just all-around really lekker Amir Hendricks. He is sending us out into the midweek with a brilliant single. It's called Run With You. My brother, the stage is yours.
When I first met you, I wasn't sure if you were one night or my whole life now. Then you became the sunlight on my skin and the air that I breathe in. And I promise you, girl, that you're my whole world. And I promise you, your dreams will all come true. And I promise you, girl, that you're my whole world. And I promise you, that I'm gonna run with you until my legs are numb and blue. And I'm gonna love you and make our dreams and hopes come true. Run with you. Run with you. Run with you. So let it be just you and me, and we'll conquer any mountain and sea. So take my hand and run next to me, 'cause you're all that I'll ever need. 'Cause I promise you, girl, that you're my whole world. And I promise you, your dreams will all come true. And I promise you, girl, that you're my whole world. And I promise you, that I'm gonna run with you until my legs are numb and blue. And I'm gonna love you and make our dreams and hopes come true. Run with you. Run with you. Run with you. Cause I need you, and I need you too, and I need you, and I need you, and I'm gonna run with you until my legs are numb and blue. And I'm gonna love you and make our dreams and hopes come true. Run with you.
That's a pro right there. We love you guys so much. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow. Adios. Bye. Well done, buddy.